good my look at look how good my filter is. Like skin looks like I'm fucking it looks like I'm 20 years old
So
again.
when you showed up, I was like, "Hey, like you look super
My
young. You look very vibrant." I'm like, "What am I
look how
missing?"
good my filter is. Like skin looks like I'm fucking okay. Now go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, my
Good.
skin, it's like I wish this filter I could just have it every day, all the time.
You look very young and fresh. Like the wrinkles don't look as deep. I'm over
Yeah.
here. Look at the depth of these things, and I look at you, and I'm like, "What am I doing wrong?"
You got to turn the filter up, brother.
Ah,
Let me move this back. I feel like I'm like zoomed in on my fucking face. Ian, turn your phone. There you go. This is weird. I've never done a. I haven't done this.
I can hear you from downstairs and it's tripping me out.
Can you?
Yeah,
I can hear you too. You should close the door.
it's because I got that weird fucking window up here.
Oh, that's right. Go in
Should I
the
sit in the,
bathroom. Sit in
should
the
I sit in the
closet.
closet? I can lay down the bathtub.
I don't care if I can hear you. So what?
That's weird. It's like a reverb. I don't like it.
Okay. What are we talking about? Fouad, you're the best. Fouad looks smooth as Mr. Potato Head. Thank you. Okay. Everybody watching, first, I just want to say I apologize for the lack of podcasts this week, but I'm away, as most of you know, from following me on Instagram. And we were just talking to Seth before we hit live that Seth is going to get a motorcycle and start riding with us next spring.
dude, that's a tall order, dude.
Seth, you know how fun it is? It's totally like a guy thing. You just get on your bikes, you go fucking riding, you have a cigar, you fucking hang out. It's
It
like,
it looked really fucking cool. Like whenever I saw you guys, I'm like, this looks like a trip that's just, I don't know, you just feel free. You're
yeah,
away, you're moving,
yeah.
like the whole fucking the air flowing through your hair, like on your face, windburn, like yeah, it's looked like it in the pictures.
So we got to Sacramento Friday night. Saturday morning, we woke up early and got on the road. We drove up north to California through mountains, through forest, and then we ended up on the coast. Then we rode back down the coast,
Through the redwoods too.
back, yeah, through the redwoods, and then we rode back down the coast to back in inland to Sacramento. Then me and Ian got in a car and drove 8 hours to Vegas. And as soon as we got here, we got on some motorcycles the next day and rode to Death Valley. And then today we rode to the Hoover Dam.
Oh no
Like we've been
shit.
seeing a whole bunch of shit that like I've always wanted to see in
Like
those.
once in a lifetime stuff, or at least like
Well,
from the
I mean, it's not once in a lifetime.
yeah,
It's not.
that's what
You can go to Death Valley anytime you want, I guess. But like, I don't know. It's fucking cool. Like I don't know. It's just cool to get to do stuff like that, especially on a motorcycle. It's just a little bit more fun. But
yeah.
uh,
And whenever you're with people that are cool too. Like
people are
really
really,
cool.
really notice. People are really noticing my skin. It's. I quit smoking and I got stem cells, and now this is the result. Anyway, Seth, how you been? What's going on?
I'm good, dude. I'm just we're busy with getting ready for another release and
What are you releasing now? The fall collection?
yeah, some fall collection stuff. A lot of hoodies, and then we're doing a couple pieces of outer workwear. Like I
Sure.
love like big. I'm a big vest guy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so we have a Sherpa vest that we're dropping. So we're
Nice.
behind. We're behind a week. So that's why like we're just crunch time. And I don't know. It's exciting. It's all fun.
You
But
know what I'm having trouble with, Seth? I can't seem to get, a lot of our clothing is custom made, right? Like most
yeah,
90% of it.
dude, that's the
Actually,
only way to go
this
now.
this jersey is coming out soon.
I might need to talk to you about where you got that.
I can't tell you it's a secret. No, I'm just joking. No, but I can't seem to get a good custom jacket made. Like I want like a Carhartt jacket, like a canvas. And I just every sample I'm sent, I'm like, it's not right.
You know
It's not
what?
right. Do it
Me
again.
and you, will have a conversation about that because we found one.
Okay, we'll trade. I'll give you the Jersey guy. You give me the Carhartt guy.
Nice. And then you'll give me your Canadian hookup for where you get such quality gear.
Okay, let's Ian. Ian will take care of that.
I got you on that one.
I'm all in. I actually did. I just got some new farm grade growth, and again, and I'm really excited about it. Really pumped about it.
Is it because you're making a comeback?
Maybe.
Yeah, you know what somebody said to me? Somebody said I missed the hint last week that you made
I,
that you were coming back, and I did miss it.
Well, I mean, I'm not. My thing is, like I said earlier this year, my goal was to see if my body still responded. My
Yeah.
body responded, and then I was like, okay, let's take some time off because the summer was really busy with this, with all the releases, with the GNC launch and everything like that, and then we had to prepare for now. And then I was like, in the fall, if everything's still good, blood work looks good, we're on point. I'm gonna fuck around to find out.
Are you going to wait in the fall? So you're thinking
It's
like
the fall now.
yeah, but you're talking a fall of this fall, not fall 25.
Right now, I'm gonna. I mean, I'm gonna put some weight on. I'm gonna
So
see.
can
Like
I ask
I
you,
did, I upped my test and upped my growth in the beginning of this year.
yeah,
I doubled the dose of tests. So every 3 days, 3 to 4 days, I took a cc of test
yeah,
instead of a half a cc. And then
every 3 to 4 days. So you're doing like just under 500 a week.
yeah, around 500 a week, like roughly
Yeah.
that time. But and then I was like, okay, so I got up to 222, 223, and I was like, I like this. Blood works it's stayed consistent. It looks great. I feel great. And I was like, okay, I got really busy through the summer, and I was like, let's just take the time. Let's stay on top of cardio. And then right now, I was like, in the fall, I'm probably gonna fuck around.
So can
And
I ask you this? Is it like a perfect timing thing because you're one of the title sponsors of the Detroit Pro and it's not far from your house? Is that what we're saying? Seth Feroce, we got to come back.
I'm not saying that yet. I'm not saying that yet. I want to see how my body handles putting on, 20 pounds. Because I need to put on about 20 pounds.
Listen, I heard Chris Bumstead's doing the Open in Detroit, so
Don't start this again.
careful.
I think but
Okay.
it's
Can I ask you a more specific question? Because I think this goes to something I've been really like pushing in the last couple of years is blood work.
Yeah.
And I just want to read these two comments real quick and then we'll move on. Greg Lewis, thank you, says drinking the grind in my hostile shaker. Perfect. Thank you, brother. Michael Holder, Marine Mike, a avid fan of the show. Hope you guys are having a blast. Perfect timing. Just started cardio. Ha, hurrah, Marine Mike. Thank you, brother. So me and Iain are both with Merrick, and it's a like a big deal to us. Hostile's partnered with them. It's on our website. People should get blood work, all this stuff.
Yeah.
The question I want to ask you though is, do you think when we're younger, like, you know how you said, okay, I'm going to test out some gear and I'm see how my blood work goes, and you're like, my blood work's fine.
Yeah.
Do you think when we're younger, because we're a little more reckless with food and drugs, that's what really does it? Do you think if you were this smart with your diet and this smart with your drugs from the get-go, your blood work would have stayed pretty good?
Yes.
Iain, what do you think about that? Do you think like, I mean, obviously there's genetic anomalies that just can't handle taking gear, so it's going to affect them one way or another.
Yeah, there's that on both ends. I mean, there's guys that handle drugs incredibly well, and there's guys that don't handle them well at all, and there's guys in the middle that kind of get some size but nothing too crazy. Obviously, I think the earlier in your bodybuilding journey that you start, doing something like working with a company like Merrick, where you're getting more than just like your basic lab panels from your GP, and getting a really good deep dive and having someone that you can actually talk to and look over and consult you on that blood work that's well versed in that world, like the guys at Merrick, versus something that's just more basic, and your GP says your CK a little high and says you're going to die of kidney failure. Guys that actually know how to interpret this kind of information. I think you're obviously going to minimize long-term damage. Obviously, that being said, bodybuilding is a risky sport that comes with things that are, no matter how good your genetics are for it, there is a high potential for risks always. And that's, like I said, you obviously always, when you do have that risk, you always want to take as many steps as you can to minimize them, and doing blood work and being, as intricate as you can with your nutrition, and your supplementation and your, doing your labs and your scans and all that. I think it would make a big difference the earlier you started, for sure.
A couple of comments here. Are Iain and Fouad in different rooms? Yes. Iain's upstairs.
I'm sitting on the floor in a closet, by the way. Look.
The camera's not gonna... Why don't you sit in my bedroom and shut the door?
Look at this.
You're like Mike now. Mike sits in his closet. No, because the camera's not big enough to put me and Iain in the it's just easier this way. And then the other one was where did I see? Where the heck are you, Fouad? You look like my dad trying to start a computer to use it. I'm sitting in the I'm sitting in the kitchen at the island because that's where the lighting was best. Okay, so Seth, for you specifically, let's not use a broad term because we can't say whose genetics are what, whether they're good or bad. But for you specifically, because I know you were a little reckless, like all of us were, and maybe Iain was a little less reckless than me and you, but
Yeah.
Were you reckless with the diet too? Like,
Um,
did you binge? Did you have a lot of cheat meals? Did you eat a ton of food and get really big in the off season?
I was reckless with like I wouldn't say I was too reckless, but it depends. It's relative.
It's relative, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're eating back whenever we were coming up, like eating Pop-Tarts post-workout was a good idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna crush 2 Pop-Tarts because glucose.
Right.
And you're like,
Yeah, right.
Like Mark Bell, whenever he was eating Pop-Tarts mid-workout, and you're like, that's a bad idea. The gummy bear thing, I do that as fun. Because I like gummy bears and it was just like a rough time. And I'm like, I'm going to do the things that I enjoy. I wouldn't eat like a massive amount, but a couple handfuls. But I'd say that I was just reckless with the drugs because I was drawn to them. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you, can I go back to your diet for 1 second? Because I know you were reckless with the drugs, but I want to go back to your diet for a second. So you said it's relative. Well, let's just touch on it for 1 sec. How many cheat meals a week were you doing?
Cheat meals.
Not necessarily binges.
They weren't binges, but I'd probably say like 4.
Okay. And then let me ask you this. What was your body fat percentage in the off season? Did you get to 15 or were you like around?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Like with me, my midsection is always the last place I lose fat. The last place is my midsection and my low back. Okay. Every time. And it's just it's like deceiving. Like, I mean, I'm like, I have feathers in my cross striations in my shoulders and everything, but I mean, when I got like fat hanging around my stomach, it's just, for me, it was just my extremities are much leaner, much leaner than my abdomen and my lower back.
Well, the reason I'm asking you this is just, like I said, to go back to the original question. If you had stayed leaner, obviously you need to put on a little bit of chub to gain a ton of muscle. But like if you had stayed leaner and maybe a little bit more conservative with the diet, and then also been a little more conservative with the drugs, obviously hindsight is 2020, but let's assume you knew. Do you think you would have gotten through it unscathed, or do you think it was bound?
Yeah, I don't think anybody walks through unscathed, but I would definitely be better. Like me, my kidneys. My kidneys are the one things that took the beating, and especially during prep and going into a show.
Right.
Like my kidneys would they took the fucking brunt of everything. And
was that a water thing, or was that a like what? Because I know obviously like dehydrating is probably the worst thing for your kidneys.
That was whenever I noticed it the most. And every time I got blood work done after a show, it was not too pretty. And my liver enzymes would be elevated, but nothing like, hey, they're at fucking 400. You know what I mean? Right. Whenever your liver enzymes are hanging in the 2s after a show, you're like, oh, yeah, so you were running a good bit of orals, and how's that feel? I'd like to stop. And those are things that, whenever you get your blood work done, those are the markers that you pay attention to. Look at the things that are actually affecting you, because there's some people that blast a ton of gear and have no problem with their blood pressure. There's some people that blast a ton of gear and they don't have problems with their kidneys. But meanwhile, they just have a crazy amount of acne. They're going bald and having all these other different issues. So you just got to pay attention to how you're being affected, to the side effects and what's causing them. And the only way to do that is really to get checked. But also we live in this crazy sport, and it's like the only way you do to find out is to fuck around. And you're like, is it like people get huge without taking Anadrol? And I'm like, that's crazy. Now do I need to take Anadrol?
Like, wow, what a revelation.
Oh my goodness. I thought you had to take that.
Yeah, that was just a prerequisite.
Yeah, I thought it was. But meanwhile, me, like now I'm like, no, I don't really see myself diving into the Anadrol world.
Yeah, you don't have to anymore. You already built the base of size.
That's what I mean. And so my thing is what's going to happen if I take this compound or that compound, and because I think that I'm going to have a crazy response whenever I actually do. I think that if I add in Primobolan, Anavar, like my body is going to jump.
Right.
Because I just upped my test and I got up into the low 220s. If I add in those compounds, change my food and change my training around, I think that I'll be in the high 220s, low 230s within, you know, a couple months.
It's exciting, dude. If you compete, it's going to be a big fucking deal.
Again, I just have to, I want to see how my body responds. Like, I didn't take the compounds. I got to just, I'm playing it smart, but also like, and people are going to jump down my throat. People are going to be like, you're going to fucking kill yourself again. You're going to do this. Weren't you the fucking guy that said you shouldn't do it? Yes.
Were you the guy that said you shouldn't do it? I don't remember you saying that.
Well, I made the video that's saying, you know, I did a rant where I was like, steroids will kill you, you know?
Yeah, but you never said in that rant that you shouldn't do it. You said it's personal choice.
I understand that, but I'm
Yeah.
talking about how the public perceives things.
Yeah.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, this is the one thing in my life that I wish this being Olympia week, for God's sakes, like, I wish I would have.
Yeah.
I know if my body can, I do not want to be the guy that has wasted talent or didn't live up to it. Or
you don't want to have the what ifs either.
No, I can't. This is it. So if my body can handle it, I'm going to push and I'm going to train my fucking balls off.
Yeah.
I'm going to see what happens over the next several months.
If you think about it, it's interesting the way you've gone about it, because you took time off, a long time off. I mean, you've
4 years.
2014.
Yeah.
What was your last show?
2012.
Yeah. So you've taken over 10 years off. But in the meantime, you've grown your family, solidified it, built a real business that is making good money. And now you're kind of like in a place where you can do this and it won't hurt the rest of your life. Yeah. In fact, it'll probably help.
I mean, from the company, of course, you know, the awareness will be high with everything, but it's exciting. I mean, I love this shit. I fucking love it, dude. It's every time I would do something else, like whether it's, you know, functional training or anything like it, I love it. But then I'm always like, I love bodybuilding. It's just in my blood forever. It's never leaving. I'm bro split to the fucking T, and it's just,
I know.
That's the other fun thing. I get to kind of be like, hey, let's see if bro split actually works. You're gonna watch it.
Oh, why did you come on here with a smile on your face? What are you laughing at?
It's good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. You
missed me. You missed me.
Miss you guys. Yeah, I do.
You a lot, yeah.
I do. You guys look good.
Paul, check it out.
Oh, that's nice.
New jerseys.
Show them the back. Show them the back.
I don't want to get up.
Turn around.
Just lean.
Show us your ass.
Yeah. What's it say?
What do you think it says?
Oh, hostile. That's sweet.
Pretty sick, dude.
I like that.
Yeah.
I would have got one if I would have went.
I got to read this. What'd you say?
If I would have went, I would have got one.
If you would have went, now you don't get one. Andre Lopez says, and we'll just go through this quickly. Importance of intra and it more important on a cut. Does anybody want to field this, or should I take it?
I'll go for it.
Go ahead.
I don't think intra is important per se. I don't think you need an intra at all to be a good bodybuilder. I guarantee you a lot of guys like Ronnie Coleman were not drinking the intra workout supplements of today. I mean, they weren't. Do I think that to fuel your training, having some easy, fast digesting carbohydrates can have some benefit? Yes, I think when you're getting to lower calories, well, then you need to kind of decide where you want them to come and what's helping your training stay at the highest level for the longest time possible. If that's having more around your training in the meals, well, then that should be where it is. If it's helping you in terms of appetite and the energy and training, having more in an intra workout, well, that's where it should be. So these are things that obviously you need to keep an eye on and kind of, manipulate as you get into a prep. There's not any right place to have carbohydrates other than where they make you feel and perform the best. So yeah, I mean, I think they absolutely can be of a benefit. But I also think that they're not necessary,
So can I add to that? So I agree with Iain, and I'll even go one step further and say there is not a supplement that you need to be a pro bodybuilder. If you can get all your food in, if you can work out without stims, then you're going to be fine. Does it make life easier? And is there a benefit? Yes.
Yes.
So it's the intra is not just the carbs, which is obviously beneficial to keeping your pump and keeping some endurance, but there's also the essential amino acids that are part of most intras, which is going to help start recovery process. So, and furthermore, there's also a hydration matrix that's in that to keep you hydrated during your workout. So is it needed? Like you're not going to grow or not going to be great with it? Then fucking definitely not. But there are different aspects of an intra that will help you with recovery, hydration, pump, endurance, all of those things, depending on which one you buy.
Yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think that's an important thing I forgot. There's the hydration that a lot of companies are putting in now, like, sodium or some kind of coconut powder or something like that, I think is probably, if I was going to take one thing out of an intra, I would want the electrolytes. In terms of the sodium, what you're losing in sweat, I think that would be probably the most beneficial. But like you said, when you combine them all with the EAAs, the carbohydrates, obviously, because it can be a beneficial product, help with the recovery process, help with your pump and endurance, and help with proper hydration, which for performance is crucial. And in my opinion, the most important thing, like if you train dehydrated or with poor electrolyte balance, you'll know the difference versus when you train well hydrated. So
it's funny. I was talking to Paul about this the other day, and he was saying something about, I think, Paul, you said you were taking 1 or 2. I use a GH or some shit.
One.
And I said, sorry, I don't know if that was, I'm allowed to say that. We're live.
Oh, no, that's prescribed by my doctor. It's fine.
Okay. So anyway, he was saying how good the pump feels because of and I said,
yeah, the water.
It's just because of, in my opinion, and this is just my own opinion, it's my opinion that the GH feels so good, mostly because it's pulling water into the muscle cell. And that's giving you such a good pump. But I said, you could probably get that same feeling if you took like, I'm not going to name any brands, but if you took like a really high quality hydration pack that's has 1, 2, 3,000 milligrams of sodium in it, it's not going to taste great. But if you drink it with a liter of fucking water first thing in the day, and then you keep drinking that throughout the day, your pumps are going to be fucking wild compared to the guy that didn't do that. So Ian's right. Like hydration is a massive thing, and I think that's why a lot of companies are building out hydration products right now.
It's super touchy too, because at the amounts of these hydration packets, like there's a lot.
Those
so most of them are shit, but the ones that have 1,000, like if you have 1,000 mgs in there, it's good. But like, you can't just take that 1,000 and put it in 32 ounces and that be the only thing you drink all day.
Yeah.
You need to make sure you're taking in water. And if you're training, you're going to notice a massive difference in performance, a huge difference in performance.
One of the things sorry, Paul, one of the things I noticed, Seth, was like companies like, and I hate doing this, but like companies like Prime and like, not the Gatorade hydration one, but the regular Gatorade, like the reason they taste so good is because there's no fucking salt in them.
Yeah.
If you drink like a real hydration pack, it's usually not delicious. It's like, it's drinkable, but it's like,
I mean, I always thought that I was pretty on top of things. Like recently, like being so busy during the day, I just won't drink a lot of water. And Bob, with his Ironmans, he has learned so much about like how, like there's sweat tests that you'll do to see how much you actually lose. Like it costs a little bit of money, but if you can do a sweat test and it'll tell you like how much sweat or how much salt you're actually losing, and it'll give you a rough idea of how much sodium you should be taking in. Yeah. And that dude, he needs, I think, like literally 12 times as much as his wife does.
Yeah. I think we're going to do,
right.
And that's the reason I think we're going to do, we're coming out with a hydration product. It's going to be a 1 serving, 2 serving.
Mm-hmm.
For those, like for people who are athletes who are training hard, maybe doing hard cardio, sweating more, they probably need more sodium. So, but anyway, Ian's right. The hydration part of it is.
I mean, dude, I sweat like a fucking pig. Do you guys?
Me too. Constantly.
I sweat ungodly amounts.
Especially guys taking anabolics for sure.
I'm natural now, Seth, so I don't sweat anymore.
Yeah, me and Fouad trained and we didn't sweat one bead of sweat together.
I wore the same shirt to dinner.
Yes. I'm still wearing the same shirt.
I still sweat a bit.
Marine Mike says, does anyone else experience fuckery when trying to type a super chat? Or am I just a caveman? Takes 5 minutes to write 2 goddamn sentences. Go Seth! Exclamation point.
Why would it take any longer? You're just on a keyboard typing.
I don't know.
Like when he's text messaging, he's talking about?
I don't know.
I've heard that keep it up with you guys sometimes.
I'm having an issue with peeing too much at night. It's killing my sleep. Do you guys have ideas on how to help with this? Also, does HGH at 10 IU plus cause bad dreams? I've never gotten bad dreams from HGH. Anybody else?
I've had more dreams from GH, but not necessarily bad dreams specifically.
Vivid.
And in terms of the peeing, I don't know if anyone else has a tip, but I can go. But
I don't know. I was thinking about zinc or magnesium. Isn't that supposed to help with your like peeing?
Yeah, those can help. But I found when I was like really having problems with that because I was drinking so much water and eating so many meals close to bedtime.
For sure.
You just need to limit water close later in the day.
What about taking glycerin before bed? I've heard people doing that.
Well, glycerin is like hydrostatic, so it will absorb some of the water, and that's why people use it in supplements, because it kind of pulls the water into the muscles. So, I mean, it could be a benefit, but I think if you're someone that drinks a lot of water, especially like me, I was a big water drinker while I ate, especially in the off seasons, like get the food in, I'm like pounding water. So I think you need to just be mindful, especially like within 3 to 4 hours of bedtime, how much water you're getting in, and if you're having issues, try limiting it more, as minimal as you can get later in the day, and kind of front load your water more, to not reduce how much you're drinking total, just change the timing of it. And then make sure that you're getting out as much of that before bed as you can,
I agree with Ian on that too. Cause I don't know if most of you guys are like me, but like during the day, most of us are busy. So we probably drink a little less water because we're running around doing stuff. And then you kind of try and make it up at night. And I'll end up chugging like 75% of my water after 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also you'll get with a lot of bodybuilders now, specifically in a last meal, a lot of guys are doing like shakes as their last meal now, and like guys are drinking like, oats and whey and peanut butter blended up together, and then in 1 liter in a blender, and then 30 minutes later they're going to bed. Well, yeah, no shit, you're going to piss. That's got to come out at some point. Just, do whatever you can to improve your sleep, so your depth of sleep is better, because you do release some kind of enzyme or hormone that stops you from having to feel you're peeing while you're sleeping. So the deeper sleep you're in, the more of that you have releasing, and will keep you asleep when you have the sensation. When your sleep isn't as deep, you'll feel that sensation easier, and it'll wake you up easier. So if you're getting better quality sleep, and then obviously minimizing water intake close to bed, are really the only 2 main tips I can give for
it. Hey, did taking shakes like last meal of the day like make a comeback, or did I miss something? Because I'm just like,
I think it's always been like that, no?
Because I thought it's always been like that, but then for a minute I thought people were like, you should be eating a whole meal before bed. And now every person I talk to, like all the guys in the office, they're like, yeah, last meal is a shake with peanut butter and this. And I'm like,
why? You know what I noticed about the bodybuilding industry? Things are cyclical.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like when I was competing, my morning and night meals were shakes. Like it was either a shake and oatmeal in the morning and then a shake and peanut butter at night, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And I would eat the 4 meals in the middle of the day. And then people were like, supplements are horrible. Nobody takes supplements anymore. So everyone's like, oh, fuck supplements. Can't take supplements. I don't know if it was like a Rich Piana thing because he was like, protein's horrible or something. I don't know. But then people realized it's not horrible, and it kind of came back around. So
I make my last meal into a pudding. I do a pudding instead of a shake for the last one.
I do the same thing now with the Greek yogurt. I do Greek yogurt, protein, and I'm going to do a video about it because it's fucking delicious. I think everybody should.
I do the same thing.
Listen, I just found this. I wanted to show you guys real quick because I remember seeing something about it. Zinc is apparently. Why can't I share my fucking screen? What the fuck is going on here? Apparently, zinc does help. I'll just tell you. It says frequent urination and urge to urinate diminishes with zinc supplementation. So,
does it recommend a certain type of zinc? Because there's 700 types of zinc.
I know, but one second. Too much zinc supplementation may not be a good thing for the urinary system of older adults, according to a new report. Okay, that's the second one. What happens if you take zinc at night? Consumption of zinc helps to have less wake-ups in the night. It is an excellent and safe sleep aid, and also has calming antidepressant effects, along with helping to regulate sleep. Zinc has shown to improve the vividness of dreams. What makes you pee less?
Baby.
We're gonna bring back the good old ZMA days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You can go to the extreme and just get that procedure done called Resume.
Paul loves this fucking thing. Go ahead, tell him, Paul.
What is this?
So there's a procedure you can get done. I've read it. I've listened to it on a podcast. So it's a procedure you can get done. I think I looked into it. It costs around 10 grand. They blast this like saline solution through your dick, and then it blasts out all the dead cells. And then I don't know what else they do. They do something else. And
how does this help you not pee?
Yeah,
because you blow out all your dead cells.
Isn't that
going to be your dead cells the reason you're peeing more?
Apparently.
I think Paul doesn't know.
I don't know if
I don't have the science down, Pat. I'm not saying that I know exactly the science behind. No, look it up. Resume, Fouad. REZUM.
Okay, REZUM.
So you're just blasting a saline solution up your pee hole.
There's a little bit more to it than that, I think.
I can
Like,
do that for you guys at home anytime you want.
Yeah.
One second. The resume procedure. The resume procedure is a minimally invasive non-surgical treatment for benign prostatic hyperplasia or
enlarged. That's for that type of peeing at night.
Yeah, but Paul, that's because you have enlarged prostate, and people with enlarged prostates don't empty their bladders properly.
It's for aging. It's for aging.
But it's because of benign prostate. Yeah, that's not because of just water intake or like bad sleep quality. What we were talking about. If it is a prostate-related issue, then I could understand there being something that would help. Yeah.
GSC 109 says. HWMF pod and RBP pod is what got me into the sport, competing in my first show 2025, something I never thought would happen. Appreciate the hell out of you both. Big Iain fan too. Iain, tell him about the guy that didn't know who you were.
You can't wait to tell this story.
Okay, guys.
Okay, get over this. It's hilarious.
I didn't mean this in an arrogant way. It was just
he didn't. He didn't. But it was funny.
I asked it as a question to Fouad because we picked up the motorcycles that we rented in Vegas. And the guy that Fouad rented his bike off, we get to his house. He's a bodybuilder, and he's got muscle contest medals on the wall, and he didn't know who we were, or he was acting as if he didn't know.
And he had a podcast and everything.
And he had a podcast that was literally bodybuilding and bollocks. Like, that was what it was. He's like, we just talk shit and talk about bodybuilding, whatever.
Really?
So then,
no clue who you were.
When we left, I asked Fouad, I'm like, I don't mean to sound arrogant with this. Is this not fucking weird that this guy doesn't know who the fuck we are? Like, he's into bodybuilding. He's got a podcast. I'm like that's our fucking wheelhouse, you know? So,
like, did he put his hand up and be like, I'm Kevin. You're so, like,
no, he didn't know who we were for sure.
He had no idea who we were. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which I found absolutely no big deal because I know bodybuilding is this big.
Yeah, right.
But that's the point, though.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that's the point. Is that bodybuilding's this big? So if you're in the industry, you know everybody.
Listen, you guys are in a bubble. You don't realize that just because somebody works out does not mean they follow bodybuilding.
No, he competes though. He competed.
Competes at NPC too.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fucking John
I find it
Lindsay's
surprising
shows.
myself.
He's doing muscle contest shows.
Yeah.
Iain, look, you're retired. Maybe you're just not relevant anymore.
Fuck.
It's been what, 6 months already here. No one knows who you are.
We did the tour of Hoover Dam today. And we stopped at a gas station at Hoover Dam because my bike's got
this guy.
A fucking 2-liter tank on the bike I have. And we're sitting in there drinking some energy drinks. And this kind of jack kid walks in. So then Fouad just like looks at the kid. He's like, hey, do you know who this guy is? And he's like, no. And he's like, see, told you. I'm like, I didn't say this guy would.
He was jacked, Paul. Like,
really?
That guy looked like a bodybuilder.
But then Fouad asked him if he competed, and he said no. So I'm like, see, that doesn't count. Just because you work out, I don't think you know who I am. But if you compete, it would feel like you would know who we are.
But then I said, do you know Chris Bumstead?
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
do you know Chris
I said, that's his brother-in-law. He goes, oh, that guy.
That didn't happen.
What's Chris like?
That didn't happen.
I mean, dude, here I've been in my hometown, and like I'll be standing in the line at BP, and there'll be a person that looks at me and they're like, "Are you the guy from Machiavelli motivation videos?" And I'm like,
you're like, yeah,
I've been in a couple of them. Yeah, like
that's cool.
But I mean, I'm like, it's just it is very small. It is a very small, but I mean, if you're into bodybuilding and you're doing podcasts and you watch YouTube, there is no fucking way that, I mean, maybe he didn't.
What would be
weird,
his
I'm surprised.
Maybe he doesn't want to be a mark, so he's like, yeah, I don't know who you guys are. Like,
what if he played it off like that? Because
he
didn't want to seem like a fanboy.
Might have. Just to get under your skin.
Good for him if he did.
Watch this podcast and watch you bring it up.
Okay. These people are going crazy in the chat. They want to hear us talk about Nick. So let's talk about Nick because
By this life?
Yeah,
they will talk on Nick because Fouad has athletes, so he will have an opinion. Listen, this isn't a personal thing. We're going to talk about Nick and why he backed out, and we're all going to give our thoughts on what it means. Does anybody want to go first?
It's disappointing as from a fan standpoint.
Iain is dying to go first.
I don't want to
go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't want to go first. Go ahead.
I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed from a fan standpoint. That's all.
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm probably going to get some heat for this, but I don't really give a shit. So one, I thought it was weird that Matt did the video because Matt's not his dad. Matt's his coach. And there seems to be this thing going on in bodybuilding right now. And this has nothing to do with Nick. This is just overall, I've seen it in the last couple of years. and maybe it bothers me, maybe I'm wrong for it bothering me, but it seems really annoying. I don't know why guys are letting coaches pick their shows. Like, you hire a coach to help you get ready for a contest, and you're like, and you're not stupid. You're a fucking bodybuilder. You know how long it takes you to get a certain amount of size. You know how long it takes you to get shredded. You should have an idea of what shows you want to do. But if it's happened literally half a dozen times now where I've seen a bodybuilder go, my coach doesn't think I should do that show. And I'm like, it's your fucking career, man. You're hiring him to help you get in shape. It's not up to him what shows you do. So going back to the Nick thing, I thought it was weird that Nick was the one talking in the video and making the call, I guess, that Nick's not going to be in shape. And I felt like it shouldn't be Nick making the video saying, I don't feel ready, or I don't feel right, or whatever the reason is, and not Matt. So that was the first thing. The second thing is, if Matt is going to be the one making the video and Nick's not ready, why isn't Matt telling us why he's not ready? And why isn't Matt taking any responsibility, because he's his coach? So if your athlete's not ready, shouldn't you have noticed that 6 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago? Like, why are you waiting till a week out to go, yeah, we're just not ready? Like, you would have known a while back, like, okay, his body's not responding, he's not getting in shape. Like, why wait till a week out to put this out there?
I'm going to assume that they made the call much earlier than they announced. I think they probably pulled the plug. I don't know anything more than anybody else here, even because I'm, at the same company, these guys, I actually don't know anything more than what we've all heard online. But I'm going to make the assumption that this decision was made minimum 2 weeks, or probably even more, when the discussion started to take place of like, hey, we need to be ready for the reality that you're not going to be ready. And if that's the case, what are we going to do? And Matt might have laid the suggestion, if we get to 2, 3, 4 weeks out and we don't think we're going to make it, we're going to pull the plug. I'm assuming that decision or that talk happened much sooner than the video came out.
Yeah, but this is the thing. And somebody just said in the chat, bro, Nick can miss a show if he wants. I don't know what the problem is. It's a big fucking problem.
Big problem.
We go.
Number one, we sign contracts as pros, who shows, and the promoter is selling tickets based on those contracts. So now you've sold tickets to, Nick has 1.5 million fans,
especially the Olympia, where the tickets are expensive and people travel.
So now you've sold X amount of tickets based on Nick Walker being there, and then Nick Walker's not going to be there. That's a blow to the promoter. That's a blow to the people that bought tickets. That's a big deal. And then on top of it, there's in the contract that you sign, there is no clause that says if you're not ready, you don't have to do the show.
Right, professional. Like, there has to be a fucking penalty. You can't just say, you can't sign up for a show and then be like, oh, I'm going to be fat, so I'm not doing it. Nope. Like, it's
where this isn't.
I think the whole thing is. I think the whole thing was done poorly. I just think Nick should have come out and said, number one, why, and Nick should have been the one to put out the statement, not his coach. That's kind of my last kind of thought on it. Anybody else?
I'll agree. It sucks as a big fan, especially him missing last year. Yeah. Like, as a fan of the sport, like, what the fuck? Because you're like, man, you were anticipating this. Like, last year was an opportunity for him, and it was like, fuck, he was peeled going into the show. So as a fan, I'm incredibly disappointed and upset to be like, fuck, dude, it sucks. Yeah. I don't know. I feel indifferent about, like, him not doing it based on, like, they weren't saying anything about it. So it's like, is it our business to say so in this scenario? I think it's starting to get to that point where we're like, hey, dude, like, you should tell us what the fuck is going on here. Like, we're all big fans. We're bought into you. We're supporting you. We love it. Like, that's where a lot of this, like, extremism is coming on this side, being like, dude, what the fuck? Tell us the truth. Because everybody's making videos about it and everybody's getting traction from the video from it. So I don't know if it's deeper. I think that camp is super tight knit. So I don't know if it's something that's much deeper with Nick, personally. And if it is, like, I hope he's okay. I hope it's mental.
Can I say this? So I've had a lot of things happen with the company and with the podcast and whatever, and things where people are like, why don't you tell everybody? And it's like, you want to keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the same thing, though. because this is directly part of the sport. Like, this isn't about his personal life. No one's asking about like, well, why are you with or without your wife? Why are like, this is directly impacting you being on stage. So I think when it comes to like an athletic part of the whole compass, you have to say, and plus it's not even to us, even if you had to say to the IFBB, hey, I'm not doing the show because, and then they have to have, there has to be some ramifications in the contract for why.
Well, I mean,
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I agree with you that there needs to be ramifications because this is a very scary precedent to set in professional bodybuilding.
Yep.
If we start letting guys drop out from the Olympia, like, look, if this is Toronto Pro, I don't give a fuck why you drop out. You're not signing a contract that is based heavily off marketing and things like that. You can submit your contract for the Toronto Pro 5 days before the show.
Right.
We're signing Olympia contracts by like the minimum, like the latest of like July, August. So they've had everyone there, you know, other than the guys that are the last qualifying guys, but the guys that qualified earlier had a deadline to submit and to do it. And I think if you start allowing guys, and this is honestly, I'm going to be uniform with my feeling in terms of special invites, which I know we've, you know, I understand from a promoter standpoint why they do them and don't do them and all those things. But I think the same thing here is that you're setting a very dangerous precedent and letting guys say, I'm not competing because I'm not ready.
Yeah.
That's not, to me, look, it's not an excuse. It's just plain not an excuse to compete at a bodybuilding show, especially the Olympia. And I think you need to show up and deal with the consequences of not being ready. I think if they're not saying something and there is a health issue, which I'm not going to speculate because they didn't say that. But if that is the case, then that's a different story, but they didn't say anything to make that apparent. So I'm not going to just make assumptions based off that. They're saying basically his body wasn't responding. So they're pulling out because it's not going to be the Nick that we expect. But then that to me begs the question, going back to what Fouad said, why is he not ready? Why is his body not responding? And is that a health issue? Is that, you know, he was pushed too hard in the diet and the training, whatever it is. And I think this is now on a coach's onus to figure these things out.
Or is it the opposite? Is it not pushing hard enough?
Yeah, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter either way, you know, but I think this is your job as a coach to figure out these situations. But I think at that point, if you weren't ready and your body wasn't responding, well, then you need to still enter the show and take the whooping that may be coming to you. You signed a contract, you've committed to the show. And I think that being not ready is not a legitimate excuse for not competing at the Olympia.
What would the reasons being that his body's not responding?
Actually, before we keep going on, Nick, I want to say this isn't a personal thing because that Diego men's physique guy, just came out and said kind of the same thing. He's like, you know, I've had a lot of personal stuff going on, and I'm just not going to be ready. And
there should be fines
in so many words, and said, I'm not doing the Olympia. And I'm like, this isn't like, this shouldn't be allowed. Like somebody said, I was reading one comment, somebody said they should be fined, which I don't know if they should be fined, but another guy said they should be suspended for a certain amount of time. Like you can't compete for a year. So I'm like, that's not a bad idea. If you drop out of the Olympia, you can't do the next year's Olympia.
Yeah.
Unless it'll make guys think twice about dropping out.
Unless you have a good reason, like if it's health or if it's like,
right. But then you're gonna have people who are gonna try and, you know, pass it off as health.
Yeah, but
you gotta ask for medical records. You know, like you have the right to ask for that. I don't know.
Listen, it's better. I would rather somebody lie to me and say it's health.
Yeah, rather than say I'm not ready for sure. That's a poor excuse.
Look, and I give them admiration for being, if that is the honest truth, if he's just not going to be ready, so they pulled him out, then sure, you're honest, and that's a tough thing to be honest with, especially from a coach's perspective, because that's kind of on you. You know, like as a coach, your job is literally only to get your client in shape. So in a sense, you failed at your job. So I think it's admirable that they're willing to admit it, but I think there still needs to be more. Why is your client not ready? Why is Nick not ready? Is this something, okay, is there a health issue that's making his body resist getting ready? You know, and I think that there needs to be, sorry, go ahead.
I just want to read this comment real quick because it's important to address it. Powerhouse Boys says Nick is eating too much and not doing enough cardio. It's simple, and that's absolutely not the case.
No, I think it's probably the opposite.
I guarantee you, Nick is not cheating on his diet. I guarantee you, Nick is not cheating on his cardio. I guarantee you,
that's what I mean right now.
Yeah.
If he's saying that his blood work's good, which he said his blood work looked good, which I don't know if I believe that, because I'm like, anybody that's a few weeks out from the Olympia, you're gonna have some fucking red flags up. But it's like, if we all know Nick, and Nick is not going to slack on his diet. Nick's not going to slack on training. Nick's not going to slack on cardio. He does not do those things.
No, I agree.
Why this is so like
that it points to maybe like it points to like more of like a mental or emotional.
That's what I'm saying.
To me, it points to two things. One, it's something health related that is not allowing him to get in shape, which is totally possible, and it's not out of the realm of normalcy. That happens to people sometimes, and they have to take time off to correct it. The other thing that's possible is Matt dropped the ball. I'm sorry, but like, everybody wants to just give the coach a pass and blame Nick. And I don't know if it's Nick's fault. Nick is known to be a fucking soldier. So if Nick is doing everything you told him and he's not in shape, then it's one of two things. It's either his health is not allowing him to get there, or you're giving him the wrong instruction. Like, that's not, because he's not a fucking lazy person. I've spent time with him. I know what, and you guys all have probably.
Yep.
Yeah, he's very regimented. Yeah.
Yep.
So like, anybody out there saying he eats too much or he's lazy or whatever, you're 1000% wrong.
I guess that's one, that bothered me with the video, was just saying that, like, what does he's not going to be ready mean? Like, it's like, it's such a weird thing, because it's like, when did you know this? Like you said earlier, did you know this 6 weeks out, 8 weeks out, 10 weeks out, 2 weeks out? Like, you should really have noticed this quite a while ago. And what measures were put in place to try to manage this? What was the issue, and what was done to try and fix it? I guess it could be the reality that they did everything in their power, but I don't know. In my opinion, I'm still in the world of, there always is a solution to problems like this. And look, I've never worked with Nick. I have no idea, so I could be just talking out of my ass. But if it's been pushing too long on load of a diet, or if it's, whatever the thing is, too much cardio, there is ways, if you caught this early enough, which is your responsibility to do so, both as the athlete and the coach, that measures should be in place to try and counteract this, and then get you to where you need to be.
I'm just going to address this other thing. People are saying, what about fake gear? And I did see Dave Palumbo say something about fake gear. Listen, that's a possibility, but my counter to that is, that's still on the coach. Because if your coach is giving you XYZ protocol and nothing is happening, your coach should be like, you would have noticed this 10 weeks out, 8 weeks out. It wouldn't have taken until 2 weeks out to be like, oh, your gear's not working. Unless you weren't paying attention.
Right.
So like, I don't mean to put this all on Matt, but knowing how hard Nick works, I don't know where else to put the blame.
This is what's so frustrating for fans, for people that are super into it, experienced people like ourselves, because we're like, this doesn't sound like a Matt thing. This doesn't sound like a Nick thing. This sounds like completely, there is something way fucking, what they said is not matching up. This doesn't make sense, because when are Matt's guys like really, really off?
Well, Quentin was off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't think Quentin was that off that you can say, like, Quentin was flat, but Quentin wasn't out of shape.
Wait a minute.
So
Quentin was
there's
not.
A difference between making a miss in terms of a peak. I think that happens all the time, and the best of coaches still miss all the time. I do think Matt is a good coach, but and if you're going to go down the bad gear route, I think I agree with you of like, would you have not noticed this sooner? Would you have not noticed the decline in his training? If your gear's no good, your strength in your training is going to dissipate rapidly. I also think, I hate to say this, but like, you're in the city with a bunch of other really good bodybuilders who look really good. You live in South Florida, where Martin and Brett and Chris Bumstead and all these amazing bodybuilders are. And if you should have realized at more than 2 weeks out that your gear was no good, and you should have reached out to your other contacts and switched gear sources. It's pretty simple to me,
If that was the case, yeah.
If that's the case.
Yeah.
I think I really hate, I don't want to come across like I'm putting this all on Matt, but like I said, it's either Matt or health, because the other excuses just don't match for me.
Do you think that they would use this excuse of just not being ready over saying something's wrong with his health?
I think saying
I don't know.
say his face a bit more.
Like to hide something with his health. You know what I mean?
I think some guys have it, like Nick has always had a stigma about his health because
that's what I'm bringing it up.
His body is not genetically pretty. So people are like, oh, it must be drugs.
And he's huge.
And then they're like, if it's drugs, then he must be unhealthy. So I don't think, even if it was, he probably doesn't want to add to that narrative.
That's what I mean. Is this a better thing to say?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That's a
yeah. So that's what I was going to say. Well, what do you guys think like hurts his stock more, doing the show and not doing well, or dropping out like this?
I think honestly, it probably would hurt his stock more to do it and do poorly.
You think so?
Yes, but I also think that this is when we're setting the dangerous precedent of allowing a guy to not do the show because they think they won't place as well as they want. And like Nick said in the video, he said, in my mind, I'm still the third best bodybuilder in the world, which I think is very, very unfair to say. And then you're now protecting that by not competing. It's like, I don't think I'll be able to get as high as I want, so I'm not going to compete. And now you set the precedent for any guy that maybe becomes fearful. And look, guys want to do the Olympia, so I don't think this is going to be happening often. But if they get to the place where they're scared because the pressure is very high, especially for the top 5 guys, and when their expectations for themselves and from external forces is very, very high, that you're now setting the precedent of, okay, if you're scared that you're not going to place as well as you should or want to in your mind, not should, because nobody should place anywhere, as high as you want to place, then you have an out now. And I don't think that's right at all. I think you've signed the contract months ago. You've made the commitment to the Olympia and to the fans. And that unless it's health or something absolutely disastrous, a death in the family or something that you really just cannot make the show without a huge moral issue here, I think you have the responsibility to compete. And if you come 15th place, hey, it sucks. Shit happens. We've all lost shows. Look, I came 11th in my last Olympia, which was 4 places lower than the 2 Olympias I did before. So yeah, would Nick maybe drop from 3rd to 7th? Quite possibly. But look, I knew that last Olympia before I retired, I wasn't at my best. I still did the show. And I think you need to take ownership of the prep and what has gone on in the prep and say, yeah, I'm not going to be at my best. This prep didn't go smoothly for me. My body wasn't responding. And if you want to put out a video at 2 weeks out saying, guys, I'm really sorry to say, I don't think I'm going to be at my best here. I really pushed as hard as I could. Me and Matt did everything in our power to try and get there. We changed the food, we upped the food, we lowered the food, we pushed the cardio, we took out the cardio, we changed the drugs, we changed everything we could. And my body just couldn't get there. So I apologize that you're not going to see the best Nick Walker you've ever seen. I'm going to still show up. I'm still going to do my due diligence as a bodybuilder, that I've committed to the Olympia. I've committed to you guys as fans. I've committed to the Olympia on a contractual obligation. And I'm sorry that I'm not going to be at my best. I'll do better next time. I promise you guys that next time I will try to be better than I was at this show. But I'm not going to be my best here. And I know that already. And I'm sorry,
You know what it's like? When a fighter in the UFC is coming up, they fight everyone. And then as soon as they fucking win the belt, they'll fight one fight a year.
Yeah.
And their fighting style is totally different. They're very because they're trying to retain that belt. It's almost like the same thing. But what I was going to say, but going back to your question, Paul, I do think this approach is worse than showing up and being off.
I think it is too. I think, like Iain said, you take your lumps, you come back better next time.
Because listen, let's say both of them are equal in the amount of negative feedback he gets. The negative feedback from competing is easily erased by showing up and being better. The negative feedback from just not showing up leaves a stain.
This is where I disagree, because I think it's the same on both ends. I think fans of any sport have the brains of goldfish, and once you go back on stage one time and do really good, you're back in the conversation, which you should be. If you shit the bed one show and the next show you come back really, really good, I think it should be most recent, most consistent is what you are currently as a bodybuilder. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm not saying he won't regain a fan base if he shows up and kicks ass at his next show.
I think it makes no difference.
But people won't forget this. They
A
won't.
lot of people won't. Some people won't for sure.
Some people will. Some people won't.
But I also think people wouldn't forget in the same regard if Nick got on stage and ended up being 8th, 9th place, or even lower. Maybe he shows up out of shape. He's not even in the top 15.
But that's a different kind of, but that's a different kind of like, that's a different kind of upset. They're like, yeah, Nick missed the mark. He's a shit bodybuilder. And then he comes back and he's better. He's like, oh, he's not a shit bodybuilder.
Well, I guess then all the people in the chat, I guess you guys as fans that are people that are fans of Nick or fans of the sport of bodybuilding, what do you think? If Nick showed up on stage and he's been going up all prep saying that he's going to win the Olympia and that he's going to be the best Nick ever, and saying that he can beat these guys and beat Samson, beat Darren,
they're kind of all already saying that this is worse.
To not compete is worse.
Yeah. Because
it's almost it's dishonorable.
Because it's not explainable.
Sorry, I'm saying but I also think I don't know, man. I think for a bodybuilder, it hurts your stock both ways, but I think it hurts it differently. I think it's worse.
That's what I'm saying. It's different.
Yeah. It's different. Yeah. So I'm saying it's worse in terms of now you have this image in your head as a lot worse of a bodybuilder than people have seen you before. And they might start to think this is the Nick we're going to see now. But if you don't compete, you almost somewhat protect your image of people thinking he could still be good, but you're also creating a lot of disappointment and resentment in your fans. So I think it's a double-edged sword. I think they're both shit, but I do think you retain a lot more integrity by competing. Yes.
What do you think?
The whole point, right? Like, fans are more forgiving for I fucked this prep up. Like if you said like what you just said,
that's
right?
what I was saying. If they came out with the video and say what I said,
well, hold on. Yes. But that's my point. So if he comes out and says, "Look, we did our best. I'm 10th place," there's always going to be some that are fucking assholes, but most people will forgive that.
Yeah.
This is going to be hard to forgive. I
agree with you. I was saying it more in terms of his image of his physique and people's perception of him going forward as a bodybuilder. But do I think if they had released the video, like I said, at 2 weeks out or 3 weeks out and say, hey guys, we tried everything, I'm not going to be at my best, and set the expectation versus just show up on stage and be shitty, then I think it would have done a lot less damage. I agree. But I think he needed to set the precedent prior to the show.
The IFBB, I don't think this is going to sit well with the IFBB.
It shouldn't, in my opinion.
I'd be interested to know what the conversation between, if they reached out to Tyler or Steve or whoever they reached out, and what the reasoning they gave was, and what the response was from the IFBB. Is that like, no problem, guys, it's all good? Or is it like, you signed a contract, being ready is not an excuse to not do a bodybuilding show? Because in my mind, it's absolutely not. You know,
remember last year,
sorry, Paul, this is the greatest open bodybuilding Olympia we've had in a long time. That's the part that's like, this was when everyone was showing up. Every single person that's in the Olympia, minus Nick now, is the greatest bodybuilders that we have in the sport.
Yeah.
This is the biggest Olympia we've had in a long time.
Now I have to ask though, do you guys think that's part of his apprehensions to pull out when you know the lineup's good? Look, you're in the same gym training with Martin every day. You see how good this guy looks. You're knowing that, you know, Samson just did a show 2 weeks ago. A week ago, he looks awesome. And that, you know, you're not at your best and you're not going to retain your 3rd place position from the 2021 Olympia or 2022 Olympia. So yeah, that's where I guess I don't like that precedent of being said of like, okay, I'm going to try and protect my placing previously by just opting out. And I think that's not okay at all. You know,
do you think this also, sorry, Fouad, do you think this also puts more pressure on him the next time he gets on stage? That you better come up with something special now.
Super high. And Matt, what's that going to do to your psyche now?
That's what I'm saying.
Your expectation of yourself is going to be so high, you're never going to want to get on stage again.
Right.
You know?
Paul, Abdullah Yusuf wants to know your opinion. He said you didn't talk much. What's your opinion on Nick not doing the Olympia?
I think it's horrible. I think it's a cop-out. I don't think it looks good at all. I think it's like a fighter ducking an opponent. It's, you know, you're trying to avoid the possible backlash from not looking as good as you wanted to look or not placing as high as you wanted to place. I think you're professional. You compete. If you don't look as good, you take your hits. You come back better next time. I think Iain said is a dangerous precedent.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think it makes it tougher for next show now.
I want to move on to one other thing before we get into the Olympia and start arguing about who's going to win and who's not. Eric, I don't know how to say his last name, so I'm just going to say Yannicki again because I think it bothered him. So Apparently, Eric Janik or Janicki, I don't know how to say his name. I apologize, Eric, that I don't know how to say your last name. Apparently, he got upset that me, Iain, and Seth critiqued his style of training. And
I heard this. Ty just told me he made a video about it.
He made a video about it. He
I
said,
didn't see it yet, but he told me.
Me and you, our tempo is bad, and it's just bad reps, and you shouldn't do half reps, and blah blah blah. Even though we both are, well, you're not Olympian yet, but you will be. But even though we're both competed at the highest level of bodybuilding, but regardless, there is one thing I want to talk about. Only one reason I want to talk about this.
Did we get trashed? How hard did we get trashed?
Oh, I don't think. Listen, I have no problem with Eric. I think he's a nice guy.
I'm just curious.
I don't agree with his training style. That's all.
Well, I was just curious because
he was funny. He made a good video. It was
okay. Because I was going to say
he called us meatheads and like barbarians, but whatever. It's like
called you what?
I am.
I can't see him being an asshole. I can't see him.
No, he's like, he wasn't. It was like a little condescending and like whatever. But like, if you call me a meathead, I'm proud of that. I'm like, yeah, I
are.
I'm old school and I love to train.
I mean, look, he's a bodybuilder, but he is also a influencer in a large degree. Yeah. And when you're talked about in this regard, this is an awesome opportunity to make some good content, talking about a podcast that does well and bring our names into it for promotional things. And I'm not going to hate on a guy that's makes his living as a social media guy. He's not making his money as a pro bodybuilder. He's making his money as a social media influencer. Through his contracts, his app, and all these kind of things. One, when your training's called into question, I could understand it being a little offensive. And two, I also think it's a good excuse to start an exchange that is good to promote and endorse and get people to watch your videos and get people to, to join in on the escapades,
Absolutely. And my like Ty just mentioned it. I'm like, oh man, I know it's coming at me that I'm fucking old school, dumb, stupid way of or at least a meathead way of looking at things, like Fouad just said. But like you guys, Fouad edited out that entire section from a couple podcasts ago of you two arguing for 45 fucking minutes about training. It was heated. I'm like, holy shit, these two.
I'm glad I did. Sorry, go ahead.
But what I'm saying is, like, with this, this, like you said, it opens up that conversation, and he is an influencer that competes, and it's awesome to see because Eric seems like such a nice guy. I never spoke to him, don't know him at all, but he does a good job of keeping a positive energy within it and taking people on the journey that he went to. I think that with him, I really wish he wouldn't have stopped. Like he made the video that he said that he's not going to compete for a minute, or I don't know if he's ever going to compete again, but I'm like, you were on the pursuit of it. And I think it would have did great for him in the long run for, gaining the respect and everything that he would have of being an IFBB pro bodybuilder through his style of training. But I mean, it's his style of training. I have my way of doing my things. I think that my way has worked out for me tremendously. I love it. And I always tell people, you need to find out what works for you in the gym. One style isn't going to work for every single person. My style may not be good for Paul, but it might be good for Iain, and Ian's style might be good for Fouad. Like, that's the whole excitement and taking people on the journey of training. But that's also where, the reason it started was I believe in the fundamentals of bodybuilding. We all do. Yeah. We got upset with that we got worked up because it was the crossbody single arm incline instead of doing incline barbell press. And I'm like, hey, can we just make sure we keep incline barbell presses there? Because yes, it is the one of the best basic fundamental exercises for upper chest. Okay. I don't think there's anybody that's going to disagree with that. But go ahead, Fouad.
I'll put a button on it like this. So he came back in his video and he said, I didn't say you shouldn't do incline barbell press. I didn't say you shouldn't do fundamentals. You should just do them with better form. Okay, form is, everybody thinks their form.
Well, that's exactly what the fuck I'm saying.
Yeah, whatever. That's fine. But that's not totally true, because like Exhibit A, okay? This is
you learned.
This is Eric's page. This is the very first post, okay? Watch. Biceps. Yeah, we want to work out. Oh, don't do standing dumbbell curls. Standing dumbbell curls are bad. Do lying dumbbell curls instead. Okay, so this is all I'm going to say. Lying dumbbell curls or whatever, incline dumbbell curls, whatever you want to call them, are great. I agree with him. But standing dumbbell curls are not bad. We've been doing them for decades and decades and decades. And my original point, and the reason, me and Iain argued, is because Iain misconstrued what I was saying. I'm all for new shit. When I worked with John, I was using bands on like everything. And people were like, you're stupid. Nobody uses bands, whatever. I would try anything. So I'm all for Eric saying, try this exercise, try that exercise. What I wasn't for is him saying, this fundamental exercise that people have been doing for decades is wrong.
Or don't do it.
Or don't do it because it's bad.
Yeah, I think it's an unnecessary part of the video of saying, don't do this.
It doesn't have to be. Yeah.
If you want to say, hey, try this alternative exercise. Yeah. In your bicep training, maybe try this one. I've been doing it. I really like it, the stretch curl.
Right.
Look, like I said prior, he is an influencer. And I think you need to do catchy things of saying, don't do this exercise, do this one. You highlight the muscles. You do it all that way. The only thing that made me a little bit upset about him and how he came across this video is that me and him actually talked in private.
Right.
He messaged us and we actually had a good conversation, especially Eric and I talked to him for a while and came to quite an understanding of where we were coming from the video, where he was coming from with his training. And he even said at the end of it, and I can quote it, he said, I'll try not to be part of the problem, is what he said. When I was saying, look, we don't think that doing any of these fancy exercises are bad per se, but when you're demonizing things that have been proven to work and that a lot of people do, and also when there is a rampant issue right now with young guys starting off in bodybuilding, doing ridiculously nuanced, complicated exercises and not doing any of the hard meat and potato compound exercises, and then wondering why they're not growing and thinking it's because guys have better genetics or because they take better steroids. And it's something I really dislike. And I think when you watch it, and he can say, well, I didn't never say to do that. But then you watch his workouts, and I just watched his back workout the other day, and he did 5 exercises that were all cable, one-armed, squeezy exercises. So this is, I think these exercises can all be good exercises. But when someone is starting off and they're doing their entire workout with isolation cable exercises and not getting into the meat and potatoes, I think you're setting yourself up for not a good foundation of training. I think that these things have places. I've done a lot of these exercises many times in my career. And he even said in that conversation, I'll try not to be part of the problem. Maybe I'm misquoting exactly how the conversation went. But basically how he said it was, that's what we discussed is, we were just worried about young guys doing crappy shit and not focusing on the things that really matter, which is effort and intensity and consistency, and worrying too much about how specific and isolated and fancy they can get with their exercises. And I think that is an issue. So, I have no problem with him doing whatever exercises he wants. I think it's fun to do some of these, but go ahead, Seth.
All great points, dude. You're very right. But and this is the part that, you don't want to sound like an asshole. Cause again, like, I think, he seems like a nice guy. That's why I was like, was he like you guys? Cause you just can't see that coming from him just based on his persona. But when it comes down to it, if you want to be a competitor, if you want to be a nasty fucking competitor, like ignorant in any fucking division, it's gonna be the effort that you put into it. And that's why it's like with him, it's like I really wish I would have seen him continue on his journey, because I think that if he continued on his journey in competitions, he would realize that like there has to be a level that he goes to that's a little further.
Well, and we actually had this conversation when we talked. Sorry to interrupt you. And he was saying about not competing because he didn't have the genetics. And this is where I was saying about young guys that are doing these exercises, then when they don't get what they want out of it,
genetics,
their effort isn't there, or their intensity or consistency isn't there, and they think they're doing all the best exercise that exists, then they blame it on drugs or genetics. And I even heard Eric himself say,
the goddamn guy, look at the
well, he said to me in Fouad, he's like, I don't have the genetics that you guys had. And I said, I think that's a fucking cop-out.
He was very close. He was very close to getting his pro card last year.
The only thing that you have is your conditioning is not up to snuff, with what you need to be at that level. And conditioning is something that is not genetically controlled. You can get in shape. So I said, I think you're selling yourself short. I think you have a great physique, and you have great potential to be a good pro bodybuilder.
There's no fucking way that dude said genetics.
He said genetics. Yeah.
Look at the
I don't think he's got the widest clavicles.
It's a structure, I think.
But neither did Phil Heath, and Phil Heath won fucking 7 Olympias. So I think wide clavicles just build bigger shoulders.
Yeah.
So
if that guy trains like that, if he trains like that and got that fucking big and looks like that from the way he trains, then the amount of his genetics are far superior, in my opinion, than like 99.9% of people.
Well, I thought we had a good conversation when I talked to him. I said, I think you could be a great bodybuilder. Just get in shape, you know?
Yeah.
Guys, can we move on to this?
Yeah, you're right.
I don't want to spend half an hour talking about this. I just wanted to make it a quick point because he made a video and then get past it.
Maybe we should all train together.
I'm reading some of the comments. This is
they're like, hurry the fuck up.
I gotta read some of these. Where the fuck is the one that first made me laugh? Nick wasn't ready because he was doing Eric's workout. There was another one that made me fucking laugh too. Where the fuck did it go? Fuck, I don't know. I can't find it.
Paraphrase it.
Some of these guys, I think they said Nick's not ready because he was doing standing curls instead of line curls.
Too much axial fatigue.
Too much axial fatigue.
Axial fatigue.
Oh God. Okay. Okay. Let's talk Olympia. We got big news because Raphael looks fucking wild. Akeem, his update looks fucking wild.
Oh,
we saw Martin today. He looks wild.
Martin, and I saw a video of Samson. And look, I don't want to. Ian saw the same video, so Ian, correct me if I'm wrong. It is the best version of Samson I've seen by far.
Really?
He actually had like thin, dry skin in his glutes and hamstrings.
Yeah,
and it's like papery, tight skin. Yeah.
What happens between now and Saturday in their peak? I trust Mel's going to do it, but all I'm saying is the video I saw of him like 2 days ago, I've never seen his glutes that sharp, and I've never seen the skin on his legs that dry.
Wow.
It was pretty fucking impressive.
I'm so fucking amped.
Martin today in person though blew my goddamn mind.
Oh, really? That good, eh?
Oh,
wow. Yeah.
Martin today.
What the fuck?
I know people are going to be like, "Oh, you're biased because you're sponsoring him." Whatever. Listen,
I'm not sponsoring him, and I say the same goddamn thing.
I'm telling you, we were sitting there. I was trying to find something to correct.
There's nothing
with his posing or with this or with that. Everything was perfect. Like his skin texture, his conditioning, every muscle was completely balanced with the one in front of it. His pose,
and he's gained a lot of muscle since New York, which is impossible to me, you know?
Yeah. Like how much muscle has he gained since then? 10 pounds?
He said he's the same weight, but he looks 10 pounds heavier.
Looks a lot bigger, but I think it's because
way bigger.
Because he's sharp.
He's sharp and full. And the part is they just started loading. So like, I don't know how he's going to look in 2 days.
Huh, fuck.
I'm so fucking
exciting, man. Me too. Have you seen anybody else? Who else have you seen?
Well, I saw Brett today. He looked fucking huge, but nobody competing. Me and Ian didn't want to go to like any of the busy gyms. We just went today to meet up with Martin real quick.
Are you doing the press conference tomorrow?
Yeah. Which I'm kind of nervous about. If anybody in the chat has anything good for me to ask.
Oh, you guys are in the same place, huh?
Don't ruin it.
Go back to the closet.
What time is prejudge for the men's open?
It's like 6 or 7 on Friday night, no?
Did they start with men's open though? Do you guys? I heard they reversed the schedule this year or something like that.
Well, look at Akeem.
Oh,
look at his shoulder. Look how dry it is.
Look at his legs too.
Fucking legs. So everything looks so dry, dude.
His face looks dry. I've never seen Akeem's face like that.
I've never seen Akeem like this.
No, I haven't either.
I think he's going to shake it up.
Well, he moves up now with Nick gone for sure.
Well, not just with Nick gone, like.
Well, he made of anyways, but I mean, just saying,
listen,
like.
I'm going to ask you guys some serious questions here. Okay, let's assume we all agree that Akeem's worst pose is back double bicep.
Yeah.
Right. His back lat spread, do you guys agree, is actually pretty good? Like when he opens it up, it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's not a huge weak point.
Okay, so if Akeem comes in as sharp as that video looks, Is there a possibility he beats Brandon? Is there a possibility he beats Raphael? Is there a possibility he beats Martin? Is there a possibility he beats Hunter? Like, where is he land?
I think he's landing in that
Yeah.
7 to 12 range.
Yeah.
High as 7.
Maybe even 6 to 12 range. You know,
Yeah,
Keem's been as high as 6 before.
Yeah, but Paul, 6 means he's beating one of the 3 guys I mentioned.
Yes.
Well, with Nick gone now, you have like Martin in the top 6.
Oh,
Hunter.
let's go like this. Derek, Hottie, Samson, just going by last year's placings. Derek, Hottie, Samson, Andrew, right? Then 5, 6, 7, 8 is going to be Hunter, Martin, Brandon, Raphael, Akeem,
Brandon,
Bonak in there. Mo Fuda looks fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like that whole like 5 to 10
is super tight.
Right.
John De La Rosa looking crazy right now.
That's good. Yeah.
I think Akeem's back double is too big of a weak point to overcome in this lineup. I think he can be really good in some poses, but even guys like Martin, like in my mind, I can't see Martin losing to Akeem ever. I think the best version of Akeem that came 6th at the Olympia that year, Martin still blows out of the water. And I think Akeem's a great bodybuilder. And he beat me that year at the Olympia. So I would think that Martin would beat me too 100%. So I think that Martin is a step ahead. I think Akeem falls more like to the 9, 10. I think he can make it in the top 10.
Iain, let me ask you a question because you like analyzing physiques. Hunter's worst pose is his back double bicep. Raphael's worst pose is his back double bicep.
Sure, but I think they're all still better than Akeem's.
Yeah, but they're not better in other shots. Like Akeem's side chest is better than both of theirs.
It's definitely a better pose. I agree. But I think Akeem's back double
as a whole, Akeem's front double is better than Hunter's. If he's
but I also didn't say that I didn't think he could beat Hunter. I said I don't think he could beat Martin.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So like if we're gonna assume 5, 6, 7 is Martin, Hunter, Brandon. Not that it will be, but just say that's it. Like I think he might be able to sneak in there.
I think he can sneak in the group in the second call out. I agree.
Yeah, I think I agree with you that he can't beat Martin just because of how complete he is. But I think Rafa, unless he's brought up his back, Hunter, we saw a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't think he can beat Curry, and I don't think he can beat Martin. Hunter and Brandao is tough to say. I think Hunter obviously gets a lot grainier, harder, and has some more detail in a lot of areas. Through the quads. Well, no, I guess Rakeem's got some good quads, but I think the back detail is just, especially in the back double, is such a tough one for him to overcome. And that like thickness in the skin that even if he's like, when the judges are judging him and they have him, maybe they move him in from those guys. Once he moves to back, it's tough to keep him there, I think Raphael is at his all-time best, and I think he's going to be very hard to beat for a lot of guys. And I think he'll be fighting in that position with Martin for the 6, 7 spots. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Why does Raphael take all of his photos in a mirror though?
Well, because obviously it makes him look bigger.
I know, but that's what I'm worried about. Like if you took it in a mirror.
I'm not worried about it because I saw him at the Arnold earlier this year and I thought he looked amazing. And I think if he's even 3% bigger than that, I think it's going to be enough to battle with these guys.
I mean, his arms look bigger here. His chest looks bigger and fuller. His shoulders look a little rounder and more detailed. Paul, what do you think? You're the judge.
About Raphael particularly? Or just the whole second call out?
Well, yeah, I mean, Akeem, Rafa, like, do you think Akeem's going to be in there, or do you think he's going to be a third call-out guy?
I think that's the best case for. I think he'll be in the second call-out. I think first call-out, if you're going to call it the top 5, I think we all agree on who the top 4 are going to be, and then the 5th person, if it's a 5-person call-out, maybe it's Brandon, maybe it's Martin. Who knows if they call out 5. The second call-out though, Rafa, John, maybe Hunter. Akeem could be in that call out.
I'm very impressed by Akeem's physique. I know he's missing one body part.
Well, I think he's just missing a bit of detail in places, like even through the shoulder to the chest.
But the detail is showing through here.
The detail shows really good in his side leg and his side chest.
Yeah, but
I think he's got one of the best side chests out there, and a lot of it's because of his side leg detail. I think he's got a lot of front to back thickness. What?
I've never seen his shoulders this dry.
No, I think he's going to be in great shape. I don't know how much he can overcome with how his back just looks always, you know?
Yeah.
I see him being in that 8 to 10. Just because I agree with you.
That's still a weaker pose, even though it's not as weak as his back double.
And he doesn't normally have a crazy lot of detail in the hamstrings and glutes.
I don't really know if this is a weaker pose. I mean, the lat spread's fucking wide as fuck. Like, it's really the back double that I'm like, really the one that hurts.
Yeah, I don't like how he's hitting it the first photo. That one's better.
I mean, he's also chubby here, so you can't really see anything.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's certainly possible. I think he'll be somewhere in the bottom of the second call out, so that makes you maybe in the 9 to 12 spot. I don't think he can beat Bonac. I don't think he can beat Brandau.
I think he can beat Bonac. I don't think he can beat Brando though.
Bonac's just so good from the back though.
Where is John De La Rosa going to land?
I think John De La Rosa is right there with Akeem.
Me too.
Yeah, I think John's a little undersized still compared to some of these guys, but I think he's very, very complete. So I think he can beat Akeem in some poses. But him and Akeem swapped at the Arnold UK. John beat him in prejudging. Akeem came back better at finals and beat him there. John was still able to retain his position over him, but those two are very close.
Yes, I think Akeem shocks a lot of people when he's in shape. Like, people are shocked by him. They're like, he never spoken about. And then when he shows up in shape and he fucks everybody up, they're like, holy fuck, that guy's good.
Yeah, people forget about Akeem.
I don't think John can beat Akeem if Akeem's in shape.
If Akeem's in shape, it'll be very difficult for John. I agree with you there, yes.
John is going to beat him from the back, that's for sure. But it's the other shots I'll
go say. In one pose.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think he beats him in the lat spread too, just by how much.
Yeah, maybe.
Because John has some crisp detail in the hamstrings and glutes.
So I think John and Akeem is a very good matchup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to take a look at John Jewett too, because he looks fucking awesome.
Looks pretty wild, dude.
Where is he? There he is. John Jewett's photos here. Fuck. He looks big.
Look at the back shots. Wild.
Wild.
Whoa. No.
If he can retain this level of hardness and conditioning on stage, he's going to be the hardest guy on the show for sure.
Yes. Okay, let me ask you this. He is complete. He's super fucking hard. He's got some genetic structural issues with, like, I don't know if I shouldn't say structural issues, just
narrow.
The muscles necessarily don't sweep the way they should in the quad, blah, blah, blah. But even that being said, can he, with the conditioning and the completeness, can he crack the top 10?
Top 10, I think, is a tall order given how many guys there are. Do I think that he can be maybe squeeze if they do 2 6-man callouts and squeeze in the outside of that second callout as like a 10, 11, 12? Maybe, yes.
Seth,
what do you think?
I mean, I think that what Iain said is going to play a role. That how the first call out's going to fall, whether they call out 4, 5, or 6, I think is going to play a role in the second call out, and so on and so forth. I think John, I mean, like we've said it in the past, it just doesn't have that, like, holy shit, whenever he poses, it comes to life. It's like, it is what it is the whole time, and it is fucking wild. I'm a big fan of John. I mean, dude, he looks great, especially where he's. But I think that his biggest issue is going to be, like, from a structural standpoint or like we were talking about, you just mentioned. But I can see him in the tail end of the second call out or into the third. I don't know if he cracks top 10. I don't know if he can with this deep of a lineup. Because this year, every single person who should be in the Olympia is in the Olympia.
Who else did I see photos of? Rafa, Akeem.
The latest ones of Hunter, the pictures of the videos of the Hunter just posted maybe not long ago, or I saw floating around.
Oh, this was good. This was last Saturday, I think.
Yeah.
That's what Ben, I think, said, dude. Yeah, it was like, I think it was last Saturday. Yeah, he looks dry as fuck, but you tell he's a little flat. Like, you see the legs are a little smaller than normal.
Yep.
But I mean, if they fill him back out properly, then it'll be pretty impressive.
Like, this is a level needs to be a little flat, though.
I know, because I don't know Paul, but I've never seen him like in this condition before. Like, he's got good separation everywhere and dry.
I like that look on him better than the full look that he brought.
Yes.
Like, look at that. Wow.
Yeah.
Still a little bit left in the, most of that's water. Like,
yeah.
That's just, he's super flat there. But
Yeah.
that, he's pretty fucking hard.
Yeah, that's impressive. So does that solidify a 5 spot for him, or does he beat? I mean, I don't think he beats Andrew, but does that solidify a 5 spot?
With between him and Martin, I think 5, and maybe even and Brandon. We haven't seen nothing from Brandon yet.
Yeah, but Raph
Raph, I don't think so yet.
I don't. I don't
That's
have. I don't have Raph beating Brandon Curry.
I don't
have him beating
You know
Martin
what? I'm gonna
or
show you
Brandon Curry.
or Hunter, in my opinion.
I'm probably being like a bad fan right now, but Brandon posted something wearing shorts, and I was like, his legs look small into the shorts. Where was it here? I looked at this and I'm like, oh wait, this is from September 16th. I saw this and I'm like, I don't know, that doesn't
not wowing you.
Right. Yeah, and I'm like, that's all I have to go on. This is how fucking starved we are for Brandon.
He showed nothing.
I mean, I don't know. Do his legs look big there?
Well, he never has crazy detail on his hamstrings, so that's not going to be an impressive exercise to watch him do.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think his quads look good and round, but I think there's obviously a lack of hamstring detail, like there always is, like Paul said.
Always.
That's all we have from Brandon.
That's all we got, eh? That's it.
Wait, what's this?
We already see this, I think.
Yeah, I think we watched this before.
We know he's got massive arms.
Yeah, that's not a.
So
not a
you
problem.
saying that you have Brandon going into 8th?
Well, I said to Iain today, and this is just my own stupid thought. You know, usually, like, you remember when Ronnie Coleman lost? They moved him back a little bit, then they moved him back a little bit more, and kind of farewell. Thank you for competing. So I'm wondering if, like, you know, Brandon was 4th place last year, and then this year he's going to be like a little further back, and that's kind of like the way to move him out. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I think
I've seen that happen.
Good spot last year, though. Like, I can't say that he didn't deserve that.
I'm not saying you got a gift. Some people think Andrew should have beat him, but I just don't know. I haven't seen anything from him.
I know.
Like,
dark horse.
And then what stands to reason is, like, okay, he's a little bit older. Did he get better or worse? Like, you don't usually get better in your 40s.
Right.
Man, you're
especially your legs, which are already a weak point.
Yeah. And change your coaches.
You know what changed my mind, Seth? Somebody sent me a comparison of Brandon. I wonder if it's on his tagged. 1 second. Somebody sent me a comparison
over the years.
Yeah, it was like 2019 to 2023 or something like that. And there was such a dramatic difference. I was like, oh, I keep thinking of Brandon from 19. And it's not close. It's not the same guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Once I saw that, I was like, oh, maybe I need to rethink my picks a little bit. So some people say Brandon was sick last year, so this year he will be better.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, look, none of us, I think all of us are pretty friendly with Brandon. So it's not like we want him to lose. But somebody's got to lose. Like, they can't all win. So anyway, let's go to Paul. Check this out. This is the Real Bodybuilding Podcast competition prediction page.
Oh, cool.
Right?
Is it working now?
Shut the fuck up.
No, yeah, I don't mean that in a bad way.
I got a bone to pick with you on that one, Fouad.
Why?
Because you blame that on me.
Oh, I totally blame it. So let's not bring that up, please. I don't want to make that.
Okay.
I don't want to give that person the satisfaction.
You know about this, obviously, Paul.
I'll tell Paul after. He doesn't know. Okay. I'll tell you guys after. Let's go into, look, Paul, we have classic now too here.
Classic. Oh, we're doing classic picks too?
Yeah. Let's play.
Okay, cool.
Hey, these are the people. These are their predictions. And we can check this out. We can go to their pages now just by clicking on them.
Oh, this is awesome.
Boom.
Very user-friendly.
Quality shit.
I don't have to search. Somebody made this suggestion last week in the chat, and I was like, oh, that's a fucking great idea. So now we don't have to, like, go through and search. Anybody you want to see, we can just go, look, here's Mo Fuda. Look how incredible he is.
Yeah. Really cool.
Look at how good his physique is. Jeez. Fuck.
Amazing from the front.
His back's not that bad, Paul.
No?
No, man. Check it out. Look, I think there's a post. There's one here somewhere with his back shot in it. It's not bad.
It's getting better.
It's just not as great as the front. Where the fuck did it go?
It looks like his lats look good from the front. They flare up from the front.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got good like framing.
He just has high lats, right?
No, it looks like something's missing from the back. It's, I don't know. I can't find a back shot now for fuck's sakes, for the life of me. Okay. Fuck it. I'm not going to go through every single page. Okay. Back here. Okay.
So we got to update our picks with Nick out now. Eh?
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Paul, let's start with you.
Okay. First.
Yeah. I'm waiting.
Body. I see that guy training right now. You see those fucking videos of him training?
1 second. 1 second. Let's go see. We all just like reading his sayings.
Oh, I know. I love it. You see that video where he's squatting 6 plates, that drop set?
1 second. This one?
Yeah, dude.
No, it's a different one. He's doing back squats with 6 plate strip set. Like there it is right there in the middle. This is like last week, apparently.
Some will stay home and eat cake and wish for things. Others are training in the gym to build their legacy.
I love it. Watch that. You should watch that set he does. He has like 6 reps and peels a plate off every set.
In superset. Okay. Okay, Hottie. Samson's gonna be so mad at you. Okay. 3.
Derek.
Okay.
Derek 3. So instead of Nick there in 5, well, I want Andrew 4th still. Instead of Nick in 5, I'm gonna go Hunter. Hunter's back in the mix for me.
6.
6 is Martin.
7.
7 Brandon.
Yep. 8.
9.
8.
Sorry. 8 Raph.
Okay.
Yep. 9 John. 10 Akeem.
John.
9.
Rosa?
Yeah.
10.
No, Akeem 9, John 10.
John 10. Okay.
Let me chew on that for a bit. See if I want to make any more changes.
Wait, let me read. Mike sent me his picks.
Oh, where is Mike?
He's not feeling well today. He had to take the time. Okay.
Fuck.
Derek
was better.
Hottie in 2nd. Samson 3rd.
You got Hottie twice there.
No, I don't. Derek.
I you fixed it.
Okay, well, just let me finish.
Sorry.
Andrew, Martin, Brandon, Rafa.
I think my picks are the exact same as Mike's.
Where's
I was
Rafa?
just gonna say Mike's turned into mine.
Hunter, Akeem. Where's Akeem's fucking thing there? Akeem and Bonac. Okay. Ian?
Derek.
Hottie.
Samson.
Andrew.
Martin.
Fitzwater.
Okay, I'm gonna just to be different so that we can actually have a difference here.
No, just do it.
No. Go pick with your heart.
Oh, because then you're gonna excuse me like, oh, I just did it to be different.
No, it's okay because I'm on the fence either way, but I don't want to be the exact. Oh fuck. Okay. Yeah, Brandon. Raphael. Hunter. That sounded so weird for me upstairs.
Hunter.
Bonac.
Bonac.
Akeem.
Keen.
You guys not showing Johnny love, you guys?
I think John's just on the cusp.
You know what sucks? You're gonna change your picks. You can't. They're locked in now. That's it.
Well,
It's in the box.
Yeah, you're locked in.
Well, can we just have one little peek then before you lock them in?
No, they're locked in already.
They're locked in, Paul. That's it.
Just swap
No.
No,
Brandon
no,
and
no,
Raph.
no.
Brandon
Yes,
and Raph.
that's it.
Just Brandon and Raph. This one.
Okay.
Oh man.
Thank you.
Okay. That's it. They're locked in now.
Okay.
Okay. Seth.
Derek, Hottie, Samson, Andrew.
1 second. Andrew.
I got Martin Fitzwater.
Fitzwater.
I got to put Curry there. Brandon. Then Hunter. Yeah, Raphael. No, that was Hunter's after Brandon.
Oh, sorry.
And then Raphael's an 8th.
Ian, I feel like ordering a pizza. Do you want to order a pizza?
Ah,
What time is it there?
after we work out.
You guys got a train still? What time is it there?
3 hours earlier than you.
yeah, 6:50. This is what's killing me.
Got Mofuda too.
I know, because that's where I'm at. I think
How come
might
you didn't pick Theo?
I love
Seems-
Theo, but I don't think he's
seems-
in the top 10. It's third call out. Theo's top of the third call out. I forgot about Mofuda though. I might want to change something.
No, you locked it in. That's it.
I thought we have till the end of the episode.
No, you locked in your picks. That's it.
You guys change your rules all the time as we. You guys change your picks, but I'm not allowed to change my picks.
I didn't change my picks. I haven't done mine yet.
I won't know if you do. You have access to the system. I don't.
That's the joy of being the owner of the system.
We should at least get a log into it.
No. Seth, number 9.
I'm torn. I don't know if Fuda is good enough from the back to beat Bonac. Because I think Akeem has the chance, but I'm just torn between it, because between Akeem and Fuda, they both don't have the greatest. They're not the greatest from behind, but that's where Bonac shines.
Right.
So I'm just torn between those 3 and how they work.
Okay. You want to take a break for a minute?
Yeah, take a break. Sorry.
Seth gets all the time he wants. I don't get no time.
Yeah, fuck you, Paul.
I know. I get no time. Seth. You get all the time you want.
Wait a minute.
I didn't put it in the box, okay?
Wait a minute.
I didn't put it in the
said
box.
you don't get time. You ran through them like you knew exactly what you wanted.
I forgot about Mofuda.
And then you started second guessing yourself.
I forgot about one guy.
Bullshit. Okay. Share. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go Samson, Hottie, Derek, Andrew, Nick. I'm switching with Fitzwater.
Hey, do you think that Fitzwater can beat Andrew if Andrew's a little off and Fitz is on 100%?
No,
I don't think so myself.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I think Andrew's just too good from the front.
I think Andrew would have to be like
Very off.
Yeah, not very off, but yeah, I think he would have to miss the mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's a size thing. I think Martin might be able to beat him one day.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, do you think
his lines, if Martin can keep his lines exactly the way they look now, but get bigger, I don't think there's anybody he can't beat. Because he looks really, really good, dude. He's just the only thing holding him back right now. He's a little smaller than the top 5.
Yeah.
Or the top 4 now that Nick's out. Okay, Raph. Okay, Samson, Derek, Nick's out. Hottie, Andrew, Hunter, Bonac, Brandon, Fitzwater. Okay. I'm going to start from the back. Bruno, Jewett, De La Rosa, Theo. Okay, so that means Akeem, Raphael, Brandon, Bonac are left. Stefan coaches Bonac, Foda, and Mark. So I'm going to put Foda here. I'm going to put Bonac here. I'm going to put Hunter Brand. I'm going to leave that right there.
Can we place the entire lineup?
Yeah, I was going to say, can we do all 16?
Oh, there's 16?
I think I can add rows here. Look.
Fucking right.
Yeah, let's do it all.
I can do anything with this program.
Amazing.
It is, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah.
It is fucking cool, I tell you what.
Okay. You know what, Ian? It was your suggestion. So you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay. Go. Who's 11?
John?
De La Rosa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Foda?
Foda?
Jewett?
Jewett?
Bruno?
Bruno?
Theo?
What?
Paul's upset.
Theo's gonna prove you're wrong, Ian.
Okay, who is this? This is Mike. Oh, Mike's not going to get to pick his, so we'll leave that. We'll just
You have to fill his in later.
somebody text him and say, "Well, who's 11 through 15?" Paul.
Okay. Well, first I want to swap Mo Fuda with John De La Rosa.
Okay, so that means we'll put Foda here for you. Okay.
Yeah, and then swap them.
No, that's in the box.
Next I'll go.
Don't fucking roll your eyes at me. I can
treat
see
like a
you.
child. You treat like a child of the show. 12 I'll go with.
Fine. I don't want you to bitch.
Thank you.
That's it. You can't make any more changes though. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. We agree. Okay. So I'm switching those two. Okay. Go ahead.
12 Bonac. 13 Jewett. 14 Theo.
One sec. Jewett. Theo. Where the fuck did Theo go? There he is. Okay.
Theo might even be higher, but I'll leave him there. Right
Too
now.
late. He's in the box. Go on.
15. Bruno.
Bruno's 15. Bruno just beat Theo, man. You're going to lose because this one for sure.
Ain't gonna beat him again.
Okay.
Theo's gonna bring something special.
Seth, we're coming back to you, brother. Okay. Go ahead, Seth. 9.
Fuck.
You're still stuck? What the fuck, man? Come on, Seth.
That was myself.
We get to pick for you.
We're not going to cut your testicle off or something. Just fucking spit it out.
Yeah, put time limit on. We get to pick for him.
Yeah, we
Foda?
Bruno. Foda? He said Foda. Okay, Foda.
Akeem. Bonac.
Oh shit! Sorry, Bonac.
Then De La Rosa.
De La Rosa.
Jewett. Bruno. Theo.
Guys,
Bruno.
You're gonna do it too, Fouad. I know it.
I'm so upset,
dude. You know what the thing is? As we go through this, we say it a lot on this podcast, but this lineup, every single one of these competitors deserves to be here.
For sure.
Like, don't start being the positive guy.
I agree, Seth.
Motherfucker, fuck you. The only one that's not here is Peruse.
How did Joe Rogan get in here?
If Peruse was in here, it'd be another. That's the only guy that's not here.
Why is Joe Rogan in here?
Someone hacked this again.
Someone hacked my shit.
It wasn't me.
It was you, probably. That's why. Okay. Joe Rogan's part of the fucking show. Okay, where the fuck is mine here? This one's mine, right? Yeah. Okay.
I would love to see someone like with an analytical mind of Joe that doesn't actually know bodybuilding have like a couple hours to look over all the competitors and not know them and place them based off what he sees.
I wonder how many would have Andrew first.
You know what? Ian just gave me an idea. It'd be cool to grab someone off the fucking street that's never watched bodybuilding
and show them all show pictures.
Show them the photos and go place these people in the top 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. Oh no, we only have like one. I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, 11. Who do I have here? 11. I'm gonna put Akeem.
Oh, you love Akeem so much. Now you got him at 11.
Well, I love these guys more. Are you being
Playing the same reverse mind games you guys try to play with me all the time?
Paul? It's a show. I have to stick up for everybody so I can fucking have a conversation.
Okay, I just busted with you. Sorry.
I actually, you know what, Paul? I'll be honest with you. I'm thinking Akeem's going to be higher. I actually think Akeem's going to be higher than Foda.
To me, in this lineup, I see Bonac as the one that's going to fall a little bit just because of shape, but we'll see. I know you guys love him from the back, especially, and that's a good point. But I think his shape's going to hurt him at this show.
Can I change these since I let you change some?
One,
yeah.
One. I kind of want to. I almost kind of agree with you, Paul. I want to put Bonac in 10th.
That was my fucking problem.
Yeah,
that was why I was beating myself up, because I'm like, dude, I
don't know, man. Bonac was going toe to toe with Baruz and beat Nathan this year. I think for him to be losing to Foda and stuff, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think he's going to lose to Foda. I'm wondering if Akeem is going to be outsize him, because Bonac is a little smaller than he used to be.
He's a little smaller, but his peak is going to be perfect. We know that.
He's won Arnold Classics. You know what I mean? He's beat these.
Yeah, but that's the same thing you say for Brandon, right? Like Bonac's won Arnold Classics, but 2 years ago,
10 years ago.
Like he's a different bodybuilder now than he was when he was winning the Arnold Classic.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's bad. He's just not as full and round as he was.
Yeah. And I think that's going to show up on a lineup like this.
You know what? I'm going to fucking go out on a limb for Akeem because his conditioning is really impressive. I'm going to put Bonac in 10th. I'm going to put Foda in 11th. And then I'm going to put, well, who's left here? I know what I'm going to, I know. Okay, let's just do this. I know I'm going to put Theo last.
You guys are going to eat those words. That's my Olympia. If Theo gets better than 15th.
It's not because I don't like Theo. It's a very tough lineup.
It is. I know.
And I think Bruno could be 12. But then Jewett and John have so much more fucking detail.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go De La Rosa. I'm gonna go Jewett, and then I'm gonna go Bruno. Fuck, this is a tough one, eh? I mean, it's Olympia. It's always
for sure.
I'm really excited that it's 15 too. Like,
okay.
I'm glad that I like that number.
I
want to add one more row just to each of our thing as a dark horse.
Ooh.
What do you mean? Like someone who could place higher?
So we have our picks, right? The top 15.
Yeah.
Who is one person that you think could really fuck this up?
Oh, like someone who we got in the lower end, but really fuck things up.
Can Akeem end up in 6th, or can Raphael end up in 4th? Like, is there somebody you think that could jump the ship and totally fucking throw the whole thing off? Because I'm already, if that's what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put Brandon down here.
Yeah, because he's the unknown. He's the one we've seen nothing from.
Because I'm gonna say, like, out of my top 10, the only person I can see in here really, really shaking things up is if Brandon looks like he looked last year, but a little sharper, he could move up 3 places.
I agree.
Or more.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Huh.
Like, who's one guy you have placed here that you think you're wrong about that will surprise you?
Brandon is the one that I keep coming back to myself too, because he's such an unknown going into the show, and he doesn't have the same coach anymore. There's so many things with Brandon that are different.
And you pick one. I mean, it could be higher too. Like, you got Samson in 3rd. Could he shock you, or is that not a possibility? Or is it Brandon, or is it Akeem?
I'm gonna say Raphael. I think could be higher than that.
But you have Raphael 7th.
Oh no, he's already 7th.
Yeah, I know. I mean, where do you put him?
One placing is not a dark horse. I'm saying like somebody jumps like 2-3 placings at least.
Hunter, if Hunter comes in peeled to the bone.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter could be 5th.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Andrew could potentially be in the top 1 or 2.
Ooh, I like it.
You think so? Really?
I like it.
Well,
I don't know. I think it's possible. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if because if his back is stripped out, like more so than we've ever seen.
Okay, Seth, who's your dark horse?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that it's hard to, like you said, dark horse. In my head, the first one.
I don't mean a black guy. I just mean a guy who could be better.
Dude, I love Martin Fitzwater. I love him. I think
but you already have him in fifth.
I know, but whenever we were just talking about like Andrew jumping into that 1, 2, 3 spot.
Did Martin do that?
So you're going to put Martin where?
But I mean, just in general, like watching Martin jump into the 4, it's not a huge jump, but it's not like, but
wait a minute. No, wait a minute. I think the jumps get more impressive the higher in the placings. Like if
Martin, we do have to remember that Martin only lost to Nick by 1 point.
Yeah,
it wasn't the best Nick we've ever seen, but it was still a Nick that would be competitive in the top 5.
Yes.
And Martin almost beat him, and he's better now. So for Martin to be in that group comparing with Andrew, Samson, and them is not out of the question at all.
No, I can see it being in that first call out, but
wait a minute.
I don't think he's going to beat any of those 4.
Well, hold on a minute. I think it's a huge dark horse pick because if Martin gets ahead of Andrew, that's nothing.
Huge.
I don't think
huge.
many people expect that.
No.
So, but I'm like, I don't know if that's more likely to happen than Hunter, because right now I have Hunter in 7th, Hunter jumping into that 5th spot.
Yeah.
If something goes or into that top call out.
Like can I say something? I don't think Hunter jumping from 7 to 5 in your listing is as big as Fitzwater beating Andrew.
I agree.
Yeah,
that's
because there's a lot of people that already expect Hunter to beat Martin and Brandon. There's nobody, not that I shouldn't say nobody. There's not that many people that have Fitzwater beating Andrew.
I know, but
so that's a bigger dark horse pick.
I'm gonna do that. I like Martin. I like Fitz. Fucking huge fan.
Okay, Fitzwater. Okay, that's it. What are we betting? I have to get it. If I win, Seth has to get a hostile tattoo. If I lose, I'll get an Axe and Sledge tattoo.
No specifics of where it has to go.
Well, you can hide it,
baby.
Me knowing that he has it on his ankle or something would be enough.
What about size? Yeah. Be a certain size.
Got to be readable. Like it's got to be like a credit card.
On the bottom of your foot. What are your chota, Seth?
It would still make me happy knowing it was right under there.
It still make you happy, eh?
It would still make me happy. I'm like, he's got it. There's nothing he can do about it.
Toss right under there.
Okay. We've been on for a couple hours. Let's do some questions. If anybody in the chat has questions, let me go back a bit in the chat, see if I can find something, and then we'll go. Foda isn't going to get 9. No hate, just tough. Yeah, you could be right.
It's a tough lineup.
But then this guy just says, I got Foda in 9th. I'm biased though and hopeful. Are y'all? Oh, we didn't do classic.
Would you like top 5 for them?
Yeah, we'll just do top 5 because I don't think we know all the classic guys.
Are we gonna do 212 to them?
No, that's just bodybuilding. And we already know that Keon's going to win.
He looks pretty wild.
I don't think, honestly, man, if Keon was in the open, I think he'd be in the fucking top 8.
I'd love to see him do an open show one day.
I think someone told me he was thinking about it.
Really?
Or something like that.
Exciting. That'd be exciting.
Okay. I already have my picks because I did this with James and Ben. So it's up to you guys now.
Want to go first again? Or Seth?
Okay, I'll go.
Go ahead.
Chris, Wesley, Ramon, Urs, Breon.
Ooh.
Breon looks really good right now.
Is that as far as we're going, or are we going further?
It's up to you if you want to go past 5. I did top 10.
I think you're missing quite a few names in this
list.
Yeah,
you are.
Am I? I don't know. I didn't.
There's 60 guys in the lineup.
60?
63.
Are you serious?
Holy fuck.
Well, maybe these are the top guys.
No, I think we're missing quite a few here that might be relevant.
We can add some. Who should I add?
I don't know. I would need to see the entire lineup. That's tough.
IFBB.com. Will they have the list?
Yeah.
Olympia.
Oh, not here. No. Oh, there you go.
qualified athletes.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2025.
Oh,
and there's no 2024. That's weird.
The fuck?
The fuck?
That's strange. Okay,
can
anybody?
you change the year?
2024 qualified. Oh wait, 2024 classic. Olympia. Fuck.
Competitors.
There we go. Qualified. Oh,
See, like I don't
shit.
even know how the fuck to pick out of this, man. This is
Yeah,
impossible.
there's so
fuck it.
many.
Let's just do top 5. Fuck it. We're not
Yeah.
going 60 fucking guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Predictions.
Most of our
All-
top 5s are gonna be close to the same.
Where did you put Terrence, Fouad?
He's not competing.
Oh, he's not. That's right.
I got Bumstead, Vissers, Dino, Urs, Jose, Manuel,
Nunez,
and Summerfield. I probably should put Breon up in 6, maybe, but I'll leave him there. I mean,
I think we're missing some guys that like we don't even know the names of that are like
I know.
Yeah.
Matthew Grego, who I was really impressed with, he's fucking huge, and then Justin.
big fan of Grego.
Okay, Paul, top 5.
Chris, Ramon, Wesley, Urs.
Breon, Summerfield, DeBoule.
That's why I like boy Michael DeBoul's looking right now. I'm gonna go DeBoule.
You're gonna lose. Okay, Seth, go ahead.
Bumstead, Wesley, Dino, Urs, and then I'm gonna go with Nunez, Breon, Grego.
Oh, we are going more than 5.
You don't have to.
I really like Summerfield too. The Grego
Yeah.
and Summerfield, I think, is going to be great. I'm just high on that Nunez fella.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what's going on in this fucking chat. Paul, for 20 years, you stood by Fouad and never said a word when he ate that apple core every single time.
Well, you didn't eat that many apples actually in front of me, but it would happen from time to time, and I would politely ignore it.
You know how many people are eating apple cores now? And they all
I
love
know.
it.
You started
Yeah.
a thing.
I started a new trend.
Yeah.
We're all gonna die.
Can I put Jewett's girl in first? Yes. Franciel is the reigning. Okay, we're not doing wellness. Sorry, guys. We don't know enough about it. They're all just have large asses. I don't know how to judge them.
I don't have any fucking clue.
Let's see. You got De La Rosa and like Bruno, though, who I think are a little better, but hey, you could be totally right, bro. It's my opinion. So this guy's saying Bruno is better than De La Rosa. Could be. I mean, he's bigger, but doesn't mean he's better.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Paul called Brandon the dark horse.
What's wrong with that?
He's implying that you're racist.
I'm not racist. I'm married to a black woman.
You're not married to a black woman. She's like 1%
black.
black.
Well, she's like 25.
She's 1%.
She did the 23andMe thing.
Yeah. Rafa is my dark horse. Botoblast 500 milligrams a test with a sprinkle of Tren. Good.
Nice.
Nice.
Let's see. There's nothing good here. How many of y'all think that Derek will repeat?
Yes.
There's a good possibility. I mean, Samson and Hadi are going to have to bring something pretty special to fucking top what he's gained in the last year, I think. The thing is this, we've said this before. Derek is the one out of the 3 of them that has the most room to gain muscle. Andrew's side shots are far too behind, and Derek's back is too far ahead. Let's see. Is there any questions here? Questions? What if Nick never does another Olympia? I don't think that's a possibility. Martin has too much visibility online that might hinder him. We can see his physique update. It's better to impress in show day and not a week out.
No, it's not.
No,
I don't think anybody gives a shit.
No.
It's so stupid.
I don't think the judges care like that you showed they still care what's on stage.
They care what you look like standing on the fucking stage.
Next to everybody else, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The chance of Wesley beating C-Bum.
Zero.
Zero.
I'll put a percent to it. 4.
There's got to be a percent, because what if he's puking and he lost all his muscle? Then he's going to lose.
4%.
Even then, he's still going to win.
Yeah, even this.
Chris is very dominant.
And he's going to be even more dominant this year. I'm 100% sure.
If you want a safe bet, put it on bumps never repeating.
Yeah.
If you're chewing gum and go into a public bathroom, do you spit it out?
Why?
Why?
Because
like in the urinals? You mean he's one of these guys that puts in the urinal?
Oh, that's the worst.
Why
Yeah,
would you
don't do
spit
that.
out your gum just because you went in the bathroom? I don't get the question.
I think he's just saying, like a habit. You spit into the urinal when you're peeing.
Oh, I don't know.
Ian's over there watching porn. He's not even paying attention. Ian, are you watching porn?
Yeah.
You did. Let's see. Is it midget porn?
Midget porn.
Yeah, I don't know.
I told Ian about the milking porn yesterday. You never seen it before.
Oh, what's that? I'm not familiar with that either.
Heard of a man being milked?
Like no, I don't know what you mean. I was going to say, like, is he?
Me?
Have you ever heard of this?
I don't think so. Is it like a nipple thing?
It's like when a girl milks your prostate.
Oh,
oh,
no,
like
I didn't know there was a porn for that.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Guy's laying on a table, and there's a hole in the table, and his dick is through the hole.
Yeah.
And the girl's finger in his butt, and then he comes.
with no
milking. No touching.
No touching.
No.
I don't know if I like that.
There's no pee-pee touch.
I don't know if I'd be into that either.
There's no pee-pee touch. There's
I want my pee-pee touch.
I think she's uttering him under the table while she milks his.
No,
There's got to be some type of jerking.
No, listen, there is that also, but that's not the video I saw.
That's extra.
That's extra.
So you just saw one video that you're basing this off.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's all like that. Milking your prostate is just fingering the butthole until you come. It doesn't mean you can't.
There we go.
That's the penis.
rubbing the prostate. Seth, tell us what you see. I'm doing this on my phone. Watch it like the podcast, or else I'd be looking at it too.
Fouad knows every corner of that category. No, I don't. I'm just saying. It's not one. What kind of live stream did I just turn on? Now it's not good. But we were talking about bodybuilding.
Well, after dark too.
Fouad's percentage is going up. Listen, does my percentage go up if, like, let's say, like, that was a thing that I liked? Does that make the percentage go up?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you like being entered in any of your cavities, that makes
Wait a minute.
you a little bit.
Let's say, hey, Paul, here we go. 10 out of 10. You like Rihanna, right? Rihanna shows up at your house. Paul, I want to milk your prostate.
Different story.
Why?
Because I don't. I'd rather she do other things with me. But if that's what
I didn't say I would rather not. But I'm saying you would let her.
If it was the only option she gave me. If I'm assuming I'm not married to in this scenario, right?
Look, Paul, I'm really attracted to you.
He's like,
the only thing. This is the only thing I want to do with you.
Me? No.
Do I get to look her in the face at least while she's doing this?
Yeah. You can do whatever you want, but she's putting her finger in your butt.
I'm assuming I'm not married in this scenario too. Like I had never met my wife or anything.
No one's cheating on anybody.
Okay. Yeah, I let her do it. Yeah, because it's Rihanna.
See?
Nobody else though.
You're just as gay as I am then.
Nah, I don't think so. I'm taking what I
you
can
just
get.
said you would do the same fucking thing.
That's settling. I'm taking what I can get. I'm not going to enjoy it so much. It's just.
Well, I didn't
Rihanna.
say I'm fucking going. I'm calling people and being like, "Will you finger my asshole?"
Oh.
I'm saying if it's in the moment and a girl goes, "I'm gonna finger your butt."
Yeah. See, now you change the scenario on me.
Why?
Because no, that's not okay for me. But if you're telling me that Rihanna's going to come over my house
with Rihanna, you guys are making out, and in the moment she goes, "I want to finger your butt." What do you say?
I say, no, thank you. I'd rather we do other things.
Like, I don't really feel like anything else.
You might like it.
She's like, no, Paul. She says it's either that or nothing.
Yeah.
Then I'm taking it because I'm taking what I'm settling right then.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm not going to enjoy that. It's just
you're not going to enjoy it.
Yes, you will.
100% a guarantee you'll come. 100% guaranteed.
It's getting awkward now.
It's getting awkward. I don't know why you're so like, okay, forget it.
I don't know why you're so anti-butthole, Paul.
I know. I don't know. I don't like my butthole entered. I don't know if that's weird or what.
This guy says get milked by Rihanna or KO Tom Cruise.
I can't do both.
Which one would you rather do?
I can't knock Tom's head off right after.
No, you can get You can line up Tom Hanks for a knockout, or you can get fingered by Rihanna.
I might take the knockout on Tom Hanks there because I fucking don't like that guy.
Fouad, can you tell Paul he's looking very sexy? That's from a dude, by the way.
Yeah, well, no, not surprised, but thank you. Appreciate that. Well, before bed.
Top 10 wellness. Oh no, don't forget it. I'm not reading that. Question for the panel. Do you think a woman or your woman can go overboard seducing you, depending on the circumstances? Can I give you guys an example? Sure. Give us an example. Simply Deep. We're waiting for your example.
But so far, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, like how can your woman go overboard seducing you? I mean, if she's fucking another guy to seduce you, then that's
like what if she wants me to milk my prostate? You know,
right? Yeah.
I would probably be down for that though.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah. Seth, you have been very quiet. What would you do?
What do you mean with milking my prostate?
Yeah, like if your wife or your dream, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty open to the fact that, like, if, I've been in a really shitty relationship before. So if Hannah all of a sudden was like, hey, like down the road, she's like, hey, I got this thing that I've been holding back.
Yeah.
And I really want to milk your prostate.
Would you think something of her though? Would you be like, oh fuck, man, who would I marry?
I just be kind of like, why the fuck wouldn't you tell me this years ago?
So I didn't marry.
I'd be kind of insulted like that way. I'm like, but if I come home and all of a sudden some weird fetish pops up in my head and I have this pent up like want to do something, and I'm like, we love each other, we have all this, I'm just going to be like, hey, I got this weird fetish that I want to do. I want to put on some furry hats and I want to get weird. Like, I'd be offended if she wasn't down for it. I'd be like, hey, thought we loved each other.
You're pervert. You're sick, Seth. That's the reaction I would expect.
What?
She'd be like, they're sick. There's something wrong with you. Fetish.
No, fuck no.
I don't know. I honestly, and I think when it comes to fucking a relationship, anything goes.
Yeah, it is. For sure.
I mean, not if it's like against, like, I'm not going to get pegged, but like,
I mean, if she all of a sudden comes home and
wait, did you say why?
Paul, would you let Rihanna peg you?
No.
So
there's no pleasure in that for me. I was barely bending on the milking of the prostate thing. I wasn't okay with that either. I don't see there's any pleasure in me getting banged with a fucking dildo. No.
Yeah, that's horrible.
No, that's not happening. I don't care who the girl is.
But I said, Ian, lock your doors tonight. Fouad's got a hard on.
He's coming to milk me.
They just want to try it. He wants to see if it works.
People in a public washroom don't out the seat. Don't put the seat down before they flush. If you're chewing gum, you're chewing on shit particles.
Yeah, the poop particle thing.
I don't know, man. That's way too much thought. I've never thought to spit my gum out because I went in the bathroom.
So that's why this person's saying to spit your gum out when you go in the bathroom, because shit particles on it.
Like, who is that much of a germaphobe? That's wild. Like, you live in a fucking bubble. Like, so weird.
And I don't chew gum with my mouth open.
Well, I'm sure you open your mouth sometimes.
With how good your nose breathing is, Paul, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, I forgot. I do get congested. Yeah.
Do you think you should do fewer sets on a cut because the body might compete for resources between repair and hypertrophy?
As you get closer
as a natural,
I think it's the same whether you're not natural or not. But I think the closer you get to a show where you have to manage the balance of input versus output, and as input gets lower and output gets higher from cardio, somewhere something needs to be managed to balance your energy balance. And if your training is too much volume and your input's too low and your cardio is too high, then yes, there's going to be some degradation there.
This guy says, did you talk about Baruz? I'm late. What kind of look is that for the IFBB?
What's no look for the IFBB?
That he couldn't get his visa?
I don't think it's incumbent upon the IFBB to make sure people can get into the United States.
They also don't. They can't do anything. Like, who do you think the IFBB is? The fucking president of the United States? Like, he has a visa application that is in processing, that's been for a long time, with the government of Iran. You think the government of Iran gives a flying fuck who the goddamn Olympia is? And they're like, no, we're processing, fuck off.
Well, hold on a minute. And I'm not saying you're wrong, but just a question. I know it's easier to get a visa if you're working for an American company, say.
Yeah, but that's not the Olympia. That would be him getting an American sponsor.
take a deep breath. I get it. I'm not saying the Olympia is sponsor. I'm saying because they're an American company and he's competing in their federation, would that not help? And plus, we don't even know.
I'm willing to bet you $1 million.
We're also saying this without knowing if the IFBB has tried to help. So
I'm going to say I'm willing to bet $1 million that Milos and them have got letters from Tyler or Steve or someone at the IFBB petitioning for them and their visa status. I mean, I got those to get my US visa and I didn't have any problems. So for them to get it for this visa that they've been having problems on, 100% they've already talked to the IFBB and got their help, you know?
Yeah. And the promoters, for sure.
And the promoters, of course.
This guy says, do you think the IFBB should move the Olympia to the winner's home country? I personally don't.
No. Yeah, we'll have the next year's Olympia in Iran. when Hadi
it'll be way busier.
It'll be crazy.
It would be. Yeah. Might be a problem for the Americans getting in there, though.
Paul, I have a question. Paul, I have a question for you only.
Okay.
And you have to answer it.
Okay.
You can't be diplomatic about it.
Okay.
Iain in his prime versus Seth in his prime. Sorry, buddy. I had to put you on the spot.
I know you're not sorry, but okay.
We all know the truth here, Paul. It's okay. You can say it.
What's it going to be, Paul?
Well, we're talking about two different weight classes too here.
Don't. I said there's no
diplomacy.
You are, though.
I said there's no diplomacy. It's just
okay. So pound for pound?
No, they're standing on stage together in their prime. It's not pound for pound. It's not.
What was the biggest you were ever on stage, Seth, as a pro?
Not good.
Back in your day, it was 202, right?
202, and he was
202 pounds.
I'm sorry to be giving up a little bit too much size there, Seth. I love your physique. I was waiting to see it against Flex Lewis back in the day, but I'm just being truthful. It'd be too much of a difference in size there.
You know what's crazy is that was so hard for you.
It was hard, but I'm also trying to be. I'm also trying to be honest about it. Like Seth,
you're worried about hurting someone's feelings.
Yeah, my feelings, and I don't have many left.
I'm hurting somebody here.
Yeah, but if somebody said,
can I say it would be a draw?
If somebody said, somebody said Iain in his prime versus Fouad in his prime, you'd be like Iain. It wouldn't even you wouldn't even bat an eye at.
Well, he's got more wins than you,
Fouad. You're so mean to me.
By the way, Iain, the pictures you put up today of your Olympia, was that 2020?
That's 20. Yeah.
I personally that was my favorite look of you.
I think that was one of my best. Yeah.
Well, that was your 7th, right?
That was my first 7th.
Yeah, that was my favorite look too.
Yeah, where I beat Hunter that year. That 7th.
That was the year. That was the year you won the second at the Arnold, right?
No.
Oh, that was the next year.
Yeah.
No, that was my favorite year.
Yeah, that was your biggest, I think. And
I think the 2020 Olympia was better than the 21 Olympia.
Yeah.
Yes, but my favorite look was the following year at the string of shows you did.
Yeah.
There was a question here that I saw and I fucking lost.
I was actually looking back pictures, and when I think myself, my favorite look, I actually think that my Vancouver was 22 was my favorite look.
Yeah, really?
Vancouver 22 when you beat Antoine?
Yeah. It wasn't the hardest I was, but I was so big. I was like 265 and I just looked so huge, and I never ever came in like that. And I just thought it looked awesome. So I like it.
Angel Vega wants to know, is that the same as getting your salad toss? No, salad tossing is just the tongue.
Yeah, that's fucking child's
That's not as good.
Paul, how do you feel about a salad tossing?
That's not as good. There's no penetration there. It's fine.
Not gay.
Okay. I'm not asking about the gayness of it. I'm saying, how do you feel about salad tossing?
But receiving or
both?
Well, I don't want to get into my sex life here, but I don't receive those. But I like.
Okay, let's not get into your personal.
I eat my wife's house all the time.
I'm a big fan of salad. Big fan of salad.
Okay. Yeah, I am a huge fan of wife's salad. My wife's great salad.
Every time he has to say something, he doesn't want to say it. He whispers it like nobody heard it.
And then says it so vulgarly. He's like, I eat my wife's ass all the time.
What? No, okay, but what about? I don't want to get into your personal sex life.
I don't either.
Let's just assume. Okay, forget it.
Let's stop talking about it. Move the fuck on.
Next question.
Move One second here. Let's see what's at the bottom here. Pookie Paul. They love the Pookie Paul, man.
I don't love it so much though. Oh, I shouldn't say that. No, they're gonna do it more.
Martin number 8 and Samson 10 and Andrew 12 at check-ins. So in the lineup. Oh, that's cool. So they're all going to be in one lineup. Maybe.
Oh, we've
Like
seen
that's
this
their
now?
numbers they drew.
Like, yeah, because you know how they bring out the numbers first and
Yeah.
then out the
Did they
actual-
do that all today? They had the check-ins already?
Yeah. Yeah, that was at like 6 o'clock today or some shit.
8, 10, 12. Yeah, so they'll all be in the same group.
Maybe, unless they bring out 5 at a time. Then,
Oh, wait. Yeah, no.
Then Martin and Samson will be in the same group, but not Andrew.
Yeah, correct.
Or yeah, even if they bring out, oh no, maybe if they bring out 6 at a time, it will be. Yeah, if they bring out 6 at a time, they'll all be in the same lineup.
Yeah,
They probably will for the first
Does
one.
anyone in the comments know all the numbers? Write out 1st through 15th what the numbers are.
Who's commentating the Olympia? Phil Heath is commentating the Olympia. I think it's a good job for Phil.
You did a good job last time.
I mean, he brings all the credibility. He's pretty articulate. He's well spoken.
I'll lay off giving a positive feedback on Phil because last time I did that, I did it because
last time Ian gave positive feedback about Phil. Phil gave him hell. I don't know why.
Really? Didn't take it well?
Well, because it came off like kind of a backhanded compliment, but it's honestly was not how I meant it, you know.
Hey Paul, I just won my pro card at Nationals this past weekend. Can you give me live feedback? No.
Was it Dana? Who was it?
No, it was somebody else, but we're not doing that.
Congratulations to Dana for finally winning a pro card after a decade and a half of fucking slamming at it, you know?
Wait a minute. Why are people so critical of Nick dropping out? He's a human being. No, he's not. He's a professional bodybuilder. That's not a human being. He's has a job to do. That's why.
He signed a contract to compete at a show that he is not fulfilling his obligation now.
Is it gay if you devote your entire life to getting jacked so you can show off to other dudes?
Yes.
No, it's bodybuilding.
Adds about 30%.
It's one of the manly things you can do in life.
In your opinion, where did that go? Fuck. In your opinion, how would Dorian Yates compare to this year's lineup?
Oh, it's hard to compare eras.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not hard to compare eras.
You don't think so?
No. How would
I think
Dorian...
he would win in this lineup, but I don't think I think he yeah, it's tough.
He would win.
You think he'd win?
That's what you just said.
I think he would.
I don't know.
Do you think that Derek would beat Dorian Yates?
Or Hottie?
Maybe Hottie would.
Maybe Hottie.
Yeah, but we all picked Derek to win. So how does that make sense?
I didn't pick Derek to win.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's tricky. I mean, if Dorian had today's standard of peak, maybe.
Yeah, I think he was. I think he'd be more conditioned than everyone, but I think he just needs to be a little fuller. Yeah.
Like if he didn't peak the way, like if he was peaking by today's standards, probably.
Yeah.
Fouad, shout my girl Marsha out for buying me 2 hostile shirts this week. Thanks, Marsha. Would you rather? Oh, fuck, why did it just keep skipping? How is the glory hole? Oh yeah, me and you went to a glory hole.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
was
I did
it?
see that.
California.
I didn't see that. But what'd you guys do?
It was great, dude. It's everything you expect.
We got to delve into this more. What do you mean? What are you guys talking about?
We went to a glory hole.
We went to a glory hole. And there was this girl there that took photos of us while we were there.
Send me the pictures. I want to see this.
Huh?
Can I see the pictures?
Yeah, we'll show you the pictures. It's pretty sweet. It's like everything you imagined it would be.
You just put your dick in holes? What are you doing?
We don't know who's on the other side. It's kind of like you just...
I got to find out more about this story.
You just hope for the best, Paul.
Yeah. Like roll the dice, eh?
Like a fucking samurai sword on the other side.
Yeah.
Did you watch Greg Doucette roast Nick on his video? Look, I'm not a fan of drama videos, whether it's about me or somebody else. I think giving your opinion is warranted. It's an opinion. Like that's what we just did. I don't know. Greg went too far personally. I'm not a fan of that kind of shit, but everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Was a fucking funny video though.
It seemed I watched part of it. It seemed like Greg was very upset with the whole situation.
Yeah.
Obviously it's for views. Obviously it's going to get views. I'm just not a fan of those kind of videos myself.
Yeah.
It was like it depends on how you look at it. Was it Greg the character? Which it was. It's all for views. But whenever you start fucking bashing someone and calling him a fucking loser, oh buddy.
Yeah,
but I don't. But I don't make
that's stepping over a line. Yeah.
But look, Seth, this might be my fault, but I don't make a huge distinction between the character and the person.
No, I don't.
Because you're still because you have influence and you're still saying things. So whether you're saying them just to make money or just as a character, you're still saying
if you start running around calling me a fucking loser,
yeah,
I'm gonna be a little upset.
Yeah. I just think, and plus, and not to be fucking soft on it, but and I already kind of said this, I think Matt deserves more of the blame than Nick. It seems the whole thing seems like a contrived thing. Like, hey, let's not do the show. It's nobody's fault. Let's just say we're. It's like, I don't know how much I blame Nick for it. To me,
they all do. They both do. It's you can't. No, it's the same thing as saying whenever someone whenever you blame a coach for losing or, take all the credit for winning.
Wait a minute. This guy, Atheist Nihilist says, I've met Greg in real life. He's 100% playing character in YouTube videos. That's not real. Time out.
Doesn't make it okay, though.
I've met Greg many times, too. I also know it's not real. Greg's doing what he's doing to make money and drum up drama and get views, which he makes a ton of money doing. So it's understandable, but you're also ruining somebody's life in the process.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean it's okay.
People out there that take it as word and then go fucking ham on those people.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that watch those videos and go, oh, he's playing a character. This is so funny. It's not a big deal. But there's also a very large majority of people that watch those videos and go, fuck Nick Walker. And it's like, that's also not fair. So it doesn't matter if it's a character just to make money or not. I don't know, man.
You're trying to make money off someone's back.
Look, just like other people give their opinion, I'm giving mine. I'm not a huge fan of just tearing people down for no fucking reason. That's not my style. So whatever. It's up. Greg can do whatever he wants. It's a free country, and if that's how he makes money and that's people like to watch, then that's it is what it is. Let's see. We'll do one or two more, and then we'll go. Greg will meet his for doing all the bullshit he does. Oh, I don't want to. Whatever. Can you? No, I'm not going to do that. Where could James place in this lineup? That's interesting. Well, the new James, who knows? Fuck. James
Boy, did he get big, huh?
James looks like he fucking ate the old James.
Yeah.
Funny you think Canada is a free country. I don't know when anybody said that.
You don't think Canada's a free country?
You said Greg.
Because I said he's free to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
America.
I think most people write between the lines there.
Yeah.
Take it literally. Ian, like Paul says now, it's no. Okay. I think we're gonna go. Seth, do you feel like you need to tiptoe around certain subjects with Matt because of all the events Axe and Sledge attend with Raw? I didn't get that impression.
I'm with Raw. Look, and I'm not. Seth can answer this himself. I think there's a difference between shitting on someone like in a Greg video and then just discussing a topic that is
very different,
pertinent in bodybuilding and giving your analysis. I think it would be doing a disservice to anybody for me to not be honest in what my opinion is, but I think it would be doing a disservice to someone to be overly mean just for the sake of being mean and getting views. I don't think any of us are doing that. I think we gave our honest opinion of that we don't like the situation. We don't like how it was handled. And that for the most part, we don't agree that not being in shape is an excuse for not competing. And I would say the same thing, whether it was, and I'm sure Seth would, whether it was someone we were friends with or someone we weren't. I have worked with Matt many times. I respect Matt. I know Matt very well. I think Matt's a great person, but I think that he and Nick made a boo-boo here. And I think that for us to comment on it and be honest and not dickheads about it is completely fine and fair.
Yeah, that's, a lot of people say, like, I've seen people in the comments say that I tiptoe around subjects, or like, I just don't like talking shit about a lot of people because, it might be, I also don't really let the things that other people do affect my life too much. Like Nick not doing the Olympia, dude, it has no fucking bearing on my life. It has zero fucking bearing. I'm still going to wake up and do my shit. I'm still going to do everything that I want to do. Nick not doing the Olympia doesn't have any bearing on your life either.
Wait. Sorry, Seth. I just wanted, because he's following up his question. He said, I didn't mean it in a negative way, just asking because it could cause tension business wise, and Iain is safe because Chris is his brother-in-law. You just made it worse, Aaron. Let's just leave it.
No, I mean, dude, it won't cause any tension business-wise because we're all our own people. Like we all have a profound amount of respect for one another. Like we all compete in the same industry. What Raw does, what Hostile does, what Rise does, what Gorilla Mind does, what Axe and Sledge does. Like we all have respect for one another because let me tell you, this fucking shit is not easy to do. Whenever we can help out one another, we do. Whenever we know something that could affect the rest of the industry, we let them know. We do everything we can for our own people. We all have employees. We all have a profound respect for one another. But with this, this subject with Matt, like Matt knows it's fucked. He's making a video because he knows this situation and scenario is not fucking good. And he has to eat the shit sandwich that they are going through right now because nobody knows what's going on inside that camp. Nobody from the outside. They are being very closed off, and they made their video. But I mean, Matt as a person, phenomenal guy, works his fucking balls off, has a tremendous family, and I'm not big on I don't like talking a lot of shit. I don't. If I do, it's in a truck rant, and it's just because it's fun and it's about a controversial subject. But
like you said, us giving our opinion on a coach and an athlete fucking something up, and like you said, they're going to eat the same shit sandwich that is in any way. We're just commenting on something that's a big thing going on in bodybuilding right now, and giving our honest opinion without being unnecessarily dickheads about it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Bro Chat Olympia edition.
Is there?
Paul, lead us off with a prayer.
Okay. Let us bow our heads. The heavens are shining on me. Let us, dear leader. Well, tonight we should dedicate it to Mike since he's sick and not here.
That's good. You're learning. Okay.
Trying. So, Mike, hope you're feeling better, buddy. I miss you.
That's it?
Amen. Amen.
Oh, that's fucking bullshit. Fuck you. Wrong.
From the heart.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, I'll add to that. Well, going into Olympia weekend, this is like the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. A lot of anticipation. Good luck to all the competitors. Hope everybody shows up in their best. Hope Samson wins. Hope Theo doesn't get 15th. It's a great conversation once again tonight. We talked about milking prostates. Learned about that a little bit. Sad to see Nick's out. Do hope his health is okay. Hope he gets back on the stage next year. Amen.
Okay, that was pretty good.
I hope you guys are having a good trip. I miss you, Fouad.
I miss you too, Paul.